Hey guys, it's Steve with Orlando Collector Deviants, and here today we were with Tom. I know a guy, Raupp, and along with the voice behind the camera, we got Trish, sure, Halsey,
Sure, why not?
and we are here tonight. We already got a comment. Look, we got a comment before.
Hey, Michelle.
We got John saying hola and Michelle saying heya.
Oh, look, Dave Finley's in there too.
Look at that, all before. See what happened?
Yeah.
What up, O.C.D? An honor to hear your guest tonight, the Earl of.
Oh, the Earl of Esoteric.
I wasn't gonna say that word.
I keep getting new names.
So we're gonna have a good show, as I can see right now. We even got Raymond. Hola, amigos.
Oh, cool, Raymond. Good.
I get to see him this weekend. Correct?
Yes. Yep. Raymond's coming up to Brick City Comic and Toy Show. So yep, he'll be up.
Talking about that, if you look at the ticker across the bottom, you see the info with it. Because I've been doing that now for everybody. Now, I don't think you could give me any place with a longer address. I had 200 letters, and that took like the whole 200 letters out.
But it's a good place. It's a nice little venue.
Now, see, is it the same place you had it last year?
2 years ago. Yeah, because last year COVID stopped us from doing it.
Now, I wasn't able, because of work, I wasn't able to go to the one you had a couple years ago. So
yeah, it was 2019. Yeah, nothing in 2020.
You're also the Archbishop of Artifacts.
Well, that's a new one. Thank you, John.
And Aaron's saying, hey, Aaron. He's another indie comic person.
Yeah. No,
you remember when I had him on the show?
You've had him on the show, yeah.
I just did my survey for his Kickstarter, so.
Very cool. Yeah, Kickstarters are they've become addicted to me as much as you are doing them. I'm just as bad. But no, there's some great stuff out there. And a lot of the books you don't get to see in the store. So it's a good way to support some of the indie guys and to get some really cool stuff. Along with the books, you get some neat stuff, art, prints, just neat stuff. So
one of a kind stuff.
One of a kind. There you go. Yeah, some of it is one of a kind.
Because I know you've gotten art pages from the books.
Yep. No, a lot of them. I've gotten art pages. I got the cover to Trumps that was done by Stephen Butler for Silverline. I do a lot of stuff with Tim Tyler. And I've gotten a lot of original art that he's done. So yeah, there's some great stuff out there. It's just not having enough time to actually sit down and enjoy each and every one of the books I've gotten. That's that's the hardest thing.
Yeah, I like I was telling you earlier, I'm kind of like that because they all like came in all at once. So I have them all sitting over there, stacked up. I will get them open. I just.
Oh no, I got mine open and looked at them all and enjoyed them, but I just haven't gotten around to reading all the books. Cosmic Times, I've been supporting them. They've been doing the same thing Inverse Comics has been doing
with the box.
With the box, yep. So they're numbered, and some of them have art inside, some have art on the cover, and they're all signed, and it's neat, and it's cool to see the little boxes in my bigger box. But to actually sit down and start reading some of this stuff, I really got a lot of catching up to do.
Well, you're a busy man.
Well, I've got a lot of new names, so I got a lot of things to live up to now.
Bill Ninus?
Yes.
Says, what's up, boys?
Yeah, Bill's out of the Tampa area.
And then Aaron's like, yeah, just got funds from Kickstarter. Artist is working hard on issue 3 and 4. Cannot wait. Thanks for having me on the show. No problem. When you get ready for your next one, get hold of Trish, and we'll get you up a lot sooner into your Kickstarter, so we can have you on and talk about it. And that way we can get Tom hooked onto you too.
There you go. Always open to try new stuff. I don't know if you guys have been following Second Sight.
Yep.
And some of the stuff they've been doing. Marcus has been on a talk show with some people talking about Black comics and collecting different things, which I watched a little bit of it. It's pretty interesting. So it's, again, Kickstarters have some great things going on. I like when most of them already have all the art done. The books are already. You just pay and
you get it within a month or whatever. Yeah.
But I've had a few like you have where they show up in the mail way down the road, and you're like, I paid for this? I don't even remember.
Yeah, I got a couple that still pop up in my email. It's like, oh crap, I forgot I did something with this one.
But no, it's a neat way to do it. Especially since a lot of stores do not carry some of the indie stuff. And they're only limited on what they can carry too, with shelf space.
And they can get rid of the Marvel crap. I mean,
well, that with everything that's going on and with the business right now, I think Marvel and DC have kind of shot themselves in the foot with new distributors, new stuff coming out. It's just it's been a little crazy. And when you look at a new book and you're like, wow, what a gorgeous cover, and then you open it up and it's like, what the hell is this? I think sometimes they should have the cover artist, instead of doing 18 different covers, let's just let the cover artist do the art and site too. And the storylines have not been that great on some of the newer stuff. I don't know if you've been reading any of it, but the few books that I attempted, I kind of gave up after an issue or two.
So Dave says 5 minutes in and Earl Downs beer number 1. Actually, we've been drinking before.
Beer too.
And Austin says I was horrible with my latest Kickstarter. And
I actually got a Kickstarter from him with his zombie books that he did.
Yeah, I did that.
Those are cool.
I just got the digital today of Stanley the Snowman.
Yep, I got mine too. Yeah, so that's really cool.
And then John, the old cover bait and switch.
Okay. Yep.
But the cover bait and switch has been going on for years.
And well, that was a big thing and died down, and now all of a sudden, there's got to be variant covers everywhere. That new John Wick book, Berserker.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
that I did the Kickstarter on. I still haven't got my books yet.
Yeah, but there's like 5 or 6 printings already out, and people are like getting crazy money for them. Okay. It's I mean, right now it's a great time to have books, and if you can sell them, it's a good time to sell them and make some money.
I just like to get my printings, my Kickstarter exclusive printings of it,
Right.
That was one that I did months ahead of time. When it first came out, I was one of the first ones on there. It's like, oh man, this is gonna be cool. And then waited, and then it's like out at the comic book stores at Olo. I was sitting there at Dave. I'm like, oh, look, can I look at it? Because I'd like to at least see it.
And you haven't even gotten your Kickstarter yet.
He's like, yeah, go ahead. And it's like, he doesn't have it. It's like, yeah, but I'm not gonna pay for it. I already did. Austin says books will be out at the end of the month.
Very cool. Very good. Yeah, Austin's a busy man doing some acting and putting his books out. He's doing something through Second Sight, and there was one other company he mentioned that he's got something through. I believe it's Scout Comics.
Scout, I believe.
Yeah. So, and Scouts put out a lot of kid-related kind of comics, more younger material, which is cool. Plus, they still have their main stuff.
Yeah. So he's
Scout.
Austin better just remember us when he's a superstar.
Oh, he already is. I mean, I don't see where he has the time in the day for everything he does.
It's you gotta stay busy and be out there all the time, and that's the thing. You gotta, that's the thing with most of the artists and stuff. That once they get done with something, if they stop and don't keep on pushing it, people are gonna forget about them right away. And so yeah, being out there in the front, keep pushing and keep talking, and letting people know you're there is probably the best thing that a lot of them can do.
Okay, so let's talk about this weekend.
This weekend is Brick City Comic and Toy Show.
Oh, I was talking about the weather. It's supposed
to
be rainy all weekend.
No, it's not going to be rainy all weekend.
Okay, Brick City. Let's talk about Brick City.
Well, it's that place with the long address.
Let's go right there.
Cool.
The one thing I did download.
So it's Saturday, April 17th. The show starts at 10, runs until 4. It's $5 to get in. A lot of room to park. Feeling Good Food Truck will be there for the food service.
That's the only reason we're going.
Feeling good.
Yeah,
We haven't
no,
got to see Robert and Feeling Good in a long time.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it's been a while since. Well, DeLand was the last time we've seen them. So that'll be cool to have them.
What, 4 months ago though?
Just about, yeah. Damn, that flies. So anyway, we'll be up there for that show. Any vendors that are watching, setup starts at 6:30. Day of the show runs until 9:45. We like to have everybody in and ready to go so that at 10 we can start taking care of some people. The cool thing about Brick City is that all the local stores have kind of jumped forward and helped promote the show quite a bit.
That's awesome.
Vintage Toy King Kelly is one of them, and he takes our flyers and lets everybody know about the show. He's not setting up.
He's not gonna set up.
But he'll be up there shopping right away for sure.
Oh yeah, and that's the nice thing. He travels. He goes to all the shows, and he's out there.
And then you'll see his business cards in any of our shows. And he leaves them there for people. He's expanded his store to be 2 units instead of the 1. If you're into GI Joes or anything, basically.
Oh yeah, he has the aircraft carrier in there.
Oh, the USS flag. Yep.
He has all that. His store is always a must stop. Even when we're just driving through, going from like say Perry to Orlando, like we gotta stop by and see Kelly.
Yeah, we gotta stop by and see him. Austin over at Vibranium, they will be set up. He's got a nice store. They do gaming and comics, and he'll be set up at the show. And again, he takes the flyers. He actually runs his own little show too. He's got Comic Fest, which will be the weekend following.
That's at the mall, right?
At the mall, yeah, at the Paddock Mall in Ocala. So he runs a nice little event over there. We have Michael over at Bearded Brown Coats. They're one of our friends that we and
those guys.
And he's got a mega store there. He's got a lot of space that he's filled with pops, comics, magazines, gaming. They have a couple gaming rooms. And then the nice thing, thank you by the way to Michael, is that he's got a bulletin board out in front, a digital thing on his sign. So they've been running the show on that for us. And then we have Captain Kirk, who is the guy that kind of in 2018 was the guy that kind of pointed me in the direction for the venue that we got. And so he'll be set up. And trying to think of who else we got coming.
Well, here,
as far as
I can help you a little bit. If we can see it.
There's another toy store that's
got Alpha Omega showing up.
Yes, Alpha Omega will be there. Vintage Toy Universe is, from what I understand, a local store I have not been to, but they're going to be a vendor at the show, so they will be worth checking out. Alpha Omega will be there if you have books that you want to get graded.
Or cards.
They do cards too. They also do, they have a signature certification for pops and other items, collectibles and props and stuff like that.
They do it for pops
now. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a certificate for that they do. But through Alpha Omega, if you get a book signed at the show, they can witness it, they can submit it, and then you get a signature series. And if you happen to have just regular comics that you want to get graded because you want to make some money or you just want to grade your books, they can do the blue series for you, the regular blue label. So they'll be there.
John Neville's going to be there.
Yes, John, Mr. I own a bunch of comics that I don't want to sell, but he also brings comics that he wants to sell. So no, John and Neville will be there.
Especially if you know Trish is going to be there, so he brings certain comics.
Yeah, got to bring him Archie. He's got to take care of Trish.
Of course.
We have Capital City Comics, which we all know Daryl.
Yep, one of our sponsors of the show also.
Yeah, so Daryl will be there, and he'll have all kinds of cool little knickknacks and stuff. Dave and Michelle, Dave's Comic Box will be there. Now I gotta go through my list because I can't remember everybody. Set up with Mr. Dave Finley, A Feed Your Imagination will be Cliff from Cliff's Books and DeLand. So if you're looking for some cool stuff, the two of them bring a lot of different items. Everything from comics to books to games to statues to a little bit of everything. Cups, a little bit of everything. Coming out of Georgia, Earl Shaw will be driving down and setting up. So
try to keep everybody here. And who we were talking about earlier, Raymond with Classic
Raymond,
Comics.
Classic Comics. He's coming up. He has 2 tables.
Yeah, he's too busy in New York to come to Olo, but he can come over to your show.
Right.
Oh, it's scheduling. It's scheduling.
see
That's
how
the main
this
thing. Speaking of a Feeling Good food truck, their son Nick will be set up. So Pop Pan will be there. So if you're looking for pops, he's got a wide assortment. So he'll be one person to look at. Aaron Rice, Twisted Heroes will be set up. So if you're looking for alternative comics, mainstream comics, trade paperbacks, and little trinkets would be the best way to put it, because he has like little keychains and stuff like that.
I got a little Godzilla from him a couple years
There
ago.
you go. See? So he will be set up there.
That's when he was a mean and grumpy guy that was like over in the corner of the land.
He was mean and grumpy?
He seemed like it, but
well, that's not good. If you're also looking for newer books that have like good girl covers, really nice art on it, and Jake for Lisa Comics will be set up. So they deal a lot in that kind of stuff. Anything from Lady Death to Jim and Holly Ballant. They do a lot of different stuff. So they carry their stuff. They carry Ebas, Eric Basuma, his kind of art. So it's nice art. It's cool. So they do a lot of newer comics. There is Tony Hines at Gringo Comics, who's also helping run the show. Actually, he's doing most of the legwork and the paperwork on this one. But he'll be set up. We have Gary Moss and Todd Larson. Both of them will be set up there at the show. Gary and Todd are local to that area. Gary set up at the land. They were all the way in the back across from Jake.
oh yeah, I know Gary.
Yeah. So, and Todd was with them.
What's up, Tommy? Got Tommy saying, hey, what's up? So
We have
see if we get kicked off of Silverline again.
I didn't share on Silverline. I'm being good.
Oh, there's Tommy. Yeah, I like Tommy. He's a good guy. There's Jeff and Holly Collectibles.
The gangster of Golden Age, Tony Hines.
There you go. See, John
Yeah,
Neville's
see,
got
they-
some. John Neville's got some names.
You're not the only one with nicknames.
Gotta go, guys. Have a great show.
All right, Austin. Cheers,
Austin,
buddy.
Bye, Austin.
See you in a couple months in Daytona.
Yeah, he'll be at Daytona for sure. We've got him set up there, and who knows? We'll probably see him in another show. I know he's busy. So, we got Comic Lore coming, which is Pedro and Alex, his brother-in-law.
Just met them at Olo for the first time.
Right, yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
met them before, but like really met them.
Yeah, no, and they both come out and Pedro's always trying to wheel and deal, and Alex just loves comics, so that's cool.
Hey, that's how it goes. What you looking at?
Oh, just kind of laggy on that side.
Well, it says I have like unstable connection.
Gotcha.
We gotta move.
Oh,
Yeah.
bad connection. Who else we got? Bond's Toys coming out of Jacksonville. So they'll have some Star Wars stuff. They'll have other figures, newer figures and stuff. And then we have guests.
Yeah. Now I was gonna ask about guests because I haven't heard this. This name is a new one, Raven Grape Art.
I do not know either. He's somebody that reached out to us and wanted to get an artist table. And with artist tables, we also promote them as guests. So we said, hey, yeah, we'll give you a chance. And so we're going to find out at the show together.
Okay.
Hopefully it's G-rated stuff and not X.
Oh, they got some cute stuff.
Let's see. Trish already looked them up.
Trisha's already looking them up.
I'm already on it.
Well, of course, we have Roland Man, Silverline, of course. Pinkabella will be there with her pink Pokemon car, so
The yellow
you can get the
Pokemon.
yellow one, yep. And,
If it's pink, she's gonna hurt you.
No, the yellow one. So she'll park out in front of the building like she always does, which is cool to have her there. local Symmetry Creations with Matt. So he'll be there because he's local in that area. So it'll be good to have him.
Yeah,
Russ Morrison, yes, I know
Mike
you're going to
show
show
up,
up. Not Mike, he will be there because we have a spot for Russ there. There's Russ has comics, toys, glasses, so he's got a little bit of everything. And 30-some years sober now, so good for you, Russ.
So
Way to go.
I'll keep it away from you.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say cheers and just. But you're doing the right thing, man.
And John says, but who really is stable, right?
None of us really. Let's see. We got the Raven Wolves will be there, so they'll be set up. Paige Alford will be there, or Alfred Page, whatever you want to call him. He goes Paige Alford on his Facebook, but so he'll be set up, and he'll be set up with Marcus. And Marcus is like Barry White when he talks. He's got that smooth voice. Whereas Paige is right beside him, like a tall man who's got his book, and you got to stop and you got to listen to him, or you might get hurt.
Yes.
Oh, you got to listen. Trish's assistant manager.
So they were passing by, just
Right.
looking, and he said that he has to give it to Paige because there was no way he could walk away without buying a book because Paige wasn't going to let him.
No, that man is aggressive. I mean, he's out there and he's selling his book.
He's
He's talking
hustling.
about it. He's hustling, which is good.
Yep.
And then you got Marcus that's over there, and Marcus starts talking. And seriously, you got to listen to Marcus when he starts talking. And he's got that Barry White voice going. And the two of them are like competing all the time.
Very
And,
much.
and it's great to watch the two of them together, and they work well. And they both have great stuff that they're putting out. So
See,
it's worth your time to come see them.
those two guys are some of them that I like to say we knew them when they first started hustling, when they first started showing up.
When all they had was the little table and a book.
Yeah.
You know,
And now they got the whole setup.
Yeah.
well, and Marcus is now the COO of Second Sight.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, yeah, no, they moved along quite well.
They've done wonders in the last few years.
Well, the 1 year I had Paige at one end of the area that I had set up for Artist Alley, and then I had Marcus over a little bit from them, and both of them were out there, and they were working it. And I mean, you couldn't walk past anybody right there without Paige jumping up going, "Hey, man, I want to talk to you about my book."
Oh yeah,
You know,
he
and
actually
that's,
sat down because
but,
a lot of the shows, man, he doesn't sit.
he
He's
hardly
in
ever
front of
sits down.
he's in front of his table here. Look at this. Like I was talking to him like either last week or the week before. The one of the first times I met him, he tried selling me the same book like 4 times. It's like, dude, I already bought it from you.
You need a bathroom book.
Yeah.
One for the living room, one for the bathroom.
We have the B brothers setting up. They were there 2 years ago.
And that's Terrence and
I cannot remember his partner's name. That he
John,
had,
right?
John, I think so. Yes.
is Terrence and John.
So Terrence is known for ICC.
Yep.
So they'll be there, which is cool. And the great thing is Terrence and John, they both dress the cosplay. So they'll be there. They'll be selling their books, and then next thing you know, they're dressed up and walking around, and you know you get a chance to get a picture with them guys.
Russell says thanks, by the way.
Hey, Russ, you've done well, man. I've known Russell a long time.
And
So.
Kyle Willis says, "Hey fellas,
Hey, Kyle.
he's another one
Kyle!
who took off like
Yeah, no, he's done well. He's up in Jacksonville area. I know that
Cowabunga Comics."
he was doing New York and that they were doing downtown Jacksonville all the time. So
I love Kyle.
We-
Kyle's got some energy.
We,
I tell you what.
we met Kyle for the first time at the Orlando Fashion Square Mall when they had an art show out there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I bought a painting of his Firefly that he did.
nice.
And I see you both out there doing big things, leading by example.
Leading, I don't know if it's by example. I stumble quite a bit. That's not because I'm drinking. I just stumble and hey, you make mistakes, you pick back up, you go on from there.
Kyle says, "Coscom."
That's where we met him at.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I just know it was Fashion Square Mall. And he was another one who gets you your attention and
Oh, yeah.
doesn't let you get away.
Yeah, no, he's and a lot of these guys are personable, so you want to stick around, you want to listen to what they have to say, and then you look at their work, and it's, it's nice work, so it's worth picking up.
Well, and Kyle is also about the stories he has. He has some good stories too.
He does. He could listen to him for days.
You have to walk away, or he will go on for days.
That's meant in a good way, Kyle.
Yes.
We got Cosmic Times coming.
Cosmic Times.
Yeah. So we have Martin
and
Heidi, and then the last person we just added. Again, I cannot remember anybody's name. It was on your picture thing but he just got added. And he's an artist on one of the recent books that they're doing, that they're pushing. And then Heidi's not only been writing, well, she's done some art and stuff on her own, but she's been writing a book and stuff.
Yep.
So it'll be good to have all these people there. And then we have Darla's Animal Art, which I don't know anything about her right now. I just know that she asked, and Tony was like, hey, we'd be interested in having you.
Ryan Miller.
Okay. Yeah, so Ryan Miller would be the third person for Cosmic Times. So it's a pretty full house. We have a company called Iconic Comics Florida, and I met them at a show, and they're going to be doing comics and stuff. So
like selling comics, or
yeah, no, but selling comics. So
okay.
Yeah, they're going to be a vendor that's set up that's going to be selling comics. Buy Comics Now. I know I met them somewhere. I can't remember where.
You're buying comics?
They're buying comics. I look a lot. I don't always buy, but I look a lot. I don't hunt around as much as John. John will go through boxes. Him and Dave get together and they go through every issue in every box.
I gotta give him credit because I get halfway through a long box and I'm done.
Oh no! And the cool thing is they'll start pulling stuff for me too. So that saves me all the extra work because I've gotten lazy on some of that.
That's what I use, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh no, because I look at John and Dave, and they're on the ground going through all those boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, good luck, because I get down there, I ain't getting back up.
Well,
I stay on the table level.
I can agree with that. It's hard to get back
We're
up.
at that age. My mom put a post up that we're at that age where if you're planning on getting down on the floor, you better have a plan on how you're gonna get back up.
Yeah,
This is gonna take a minute.
You definitely need to either have somebody that can pick you up, and well, the three of us are a little heavier than normal, so we need a couple people to pick us up. That's why we don't get down on the ground.
Yep.
Is it pretty bad? I can recognize Dave from his backside, because that's how he.
Oh,
Yes.
when you see him, yeah.
When you're walking out, hey, there's Dave, because he's always down and
Dig it. Oh,
Dig it.
But that's the cool thing. They have fun. They enjoy it. And they sit there and talk to each other, and they share a lot of knowledge with me on newer books,
Mhm.
and some of the older books too. That all of a sudden, it's a $5 book in the back issues, and all of a sudden it's $20 and $30 now, or $50 to $100. It's like it's crazy how the market has changed so much.
Oh yeah. It's like it's all of a sudden come back. Reading comics is cool again.
Well, I wish most of them would read them. I think a lot of people are just speculating and buying them, which is
to try to turn around and sell.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, John. But we'll get down to John here. My thing is, there's no hard sell with me. The art sells itself, and it does.
No, it does. Yeah.
I agree because art, I have to feel it.
And the thing with Kyle is his art has evolved over the years since we first met him. He's changed. I love how it's gone. I love his comic book covers that he does now. They're a little out of my price range, but I love the ones he does now. And he hopes it's a hell of a show.
Thank you, Kyle.
And then John, a lot of men recognize him from that position.
I'm not one of them. I'm just going to let everybody know right now I'm not one of them that recognizes him from that position.
Well, that's because you're always behind your table.
Yeah, I try to stay busy.
And we got Graven saying, "Evening rock stars, great to see you."
Hey, good to see you. Another person we'll have at the show will be Lenny, who's Spineworks. And so if you want to bring in some stuff and have him look at it, he's going to be selling his books and stuff, but at the same time, he also does pressing and cleaning of books. So if you have a book that has a big warp on it, or you have a high grade book that you got an issue with that you want some cleaning done, he would be the guy to bring the book to at the show, and you can show it to him, and he can give you an idea of what it would cost and whether or not he would be able to improve it.
Now, does that actually really make a difference?
It does. It can make anywhere from a couple dollars to a couple $100. If you have an Incredible Hulk 181, which everybody wants because it's first Wolverine, or first full Wolverine, if that book is a 7.0 and he can turn it into an 8.0, you're talking $1,500. You know, it's there's a big difference in some of these books. If it's 8.0, 8.5, I mean, that's because that's what people are looking for. Is the higher the point is when you get it graded, the more money you can make off the book. And for some books, it's worth it. For other people, they just want, it's got a little bit of water damage, a little bit of humidity. There's some wrinkles in it or something. He can clean and press that. And on the majority of it, most pressers can get that stuff out. But there are certain books you just can't touch. And a good presser will look at it and go, okay, I do not want to touch this because you got tape inside, you got glue inside. If I put too much pressure on it, it's going to pull through with the staple. And, you know, and these people have to, you know, you can't press every single book. There are some books you just can't.
Right.
You can't improve, no matter what you try to do with it. So if you have any questions, again, he would be the guy at the show to come in, see, talk to, show the books to. He's done a lot of pressing for Alpha Omega. He is their presser, and he's helped improve quite a few books for people. I've even allowed him to do some of my books, and I have to say thank you, Lenny. I've made a lot of money. Yeah, there are certain books that you know, if you get and you're gonna get them graded, and you're looking at it and it's 4 or 5, and you can give it to somebody and they can press and clean it, and they can jump it up to a 5 or a 6 or even better. I mean, that's somebody you want to give it to.
Yeah, you want to make you more money.
Yeah, but then there's other times you look at a book and you know, no matter what they do to it, they can make it flatter, they can make it look cleaner, but if there's too many spine ticks and too many color breaks, you know, you may only get up half a point, but it's up to you what you want to do with your book. And
or you be like us and we only buy books to keep. We really don't buy books to sell.
Again, it depends on where you are in the market, you know, and I'm at that point that years ago I would never grade my books. And one day, my friend Al Stoltz, Basement Comics, he owed me something in a trade. He says, why don't I take your books and get them, you know, graded for you? And I had one book nobody would give me $70 for. They just wouldn't give it to me. It came back graded. I forget what its grade was, but it was worth $210. Every one of the vendors that looked at it and went, no, we won't give you 70 for it. One of them gladly gave me $200 for it.
Wow.
And that's the difference, and that's when it opened my eyes, because for the longest time I didn't want to grade books, and now online, like I give it to my partner Jay, and he'll put the stuff online on eBay, and there's no argument over the condition. Whereas you send raw books to somebody, you said this is a fine, this is a VG to me. Everybody grades a little different.
Right.
So supposedly the grading
I've had
companies, right? But supposedly the grading companies are going to be spot on. They're not, but there's no argument because that's a third party, and they're the ones that are saying what the grade is.
Right. It's not like you're saying it's a 6 when really it looks like a 4.
Right. Right. And that becomes the issue when you're selling raw books. The difference between having a store or doing a show, the people are right there and they can see the book.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff you buy online, it looks great in a photo. I took a photo not too long ago, all them books that were on the floor from 6 feet high. Everybody, oh my God, I want this, I want, and I was like, look, I'm shooting down, and it looks perfect. The House of Secrets was maybe a 4, with all the creasing on it and everything.
And that was the one that caught my eye right away.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, it looks great from me shooting down onto it, whereas when you actually look at it up close, there's a difference. So when you're buying the person, it's a lot easier. The other issue then becomes, oh, the case is scratched, the case got cracked. See, sometimes if you ship them, then you never know what they're doing, turning your package into a football or something. Or here, let's put this 80-pound box on top of this 2-pound box.
Yep.
You know, but that's those issues. But again, there's no argument over graded book. There's argument over whether you go with CBCS or CGC. Everybody has their favorite.
Yeah.
PGX. I mean, there's a few people that like them. I personally don't, because they've been the value for them books have been horrendous. But again, it's about making money, you know, and trying to figure out what's best. So there's a grading company going to be there.
And I've used Alpha Omega at least twice now. One for my Sam De La Rosa cover.
Oh, so they witnessed it?
They witnessed
Yeah,
it.
so you got the yellow signature series?
Yeah, and then at Olo, I had them do my Pokemon card, my Charizard, rare Charizard.
Yeah, because that's not only are they doing Blue Label for the comics, they do signature series if you have a book that, you know, somebody's there, or you can even do mail-in with them when they do special signings. And then they do the cards. My understanding is they also do sports cards.
Yeah.
And then they have their Alpha Omega signature thing for pops, props, certain items that get signed by people. So.
Well, what was I gonna say? Now I forgot what I was gonna say, because that popped up and I read that.
Now you're. Don't repeat that what John said.
Don't. Okay. Lenny and okay. No, out of grading books, I've only got 3 ever graded, and they've all been at your shows. Well, not at your shows. The first
although it was your show.
Well,
you're Tristan, yours.
Well, but
I just had a little hand to do it.
I'm talking books,
Yeah,
not the
more
card,
than a little.
not the card, but the books. The one was at Louis show. That's where they witnessed with Sam De La Rosa.
Right.
But I think it was CBCS you had
At Daytona, yes.
a few years back.
Yeah, and the cool thing was back then when you got something witnessed by them, it actually told you what show it was at. Because I kept a couple books that I bought out of a collection, and in there he'd got some books signed by John Beatty and a couple other people, and it says right on there, signed at Daytona Beach.
So I didn't get them to witness. I had a couple books and I brought 2 of them. But I was going to say about Alpha Omega, now I remember what I was going to say. What's cool about them is they'll deliver it to your local comic book store to where you can pick it up.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can save on that shipping.
Yep.
And no, they put out a good product right now. I'm happy with everything they're doing. So that's why we got them at the shows. They will be at Daytona. They will be at Brick City. And hopefully they'll be at Olo next year.
Hopefully they'll be there.
So, quick question to you two guys.
72.9885.
Really, that's
Quick
changed.
answer.
Then your answer's changed.
Trish,
Well, it has to
always change.
Okay,
because it's always a different question.
So Trish and Steve, you guys just did Olo March 28th. What do you think of your experience of becoming a comic book promoter or a comic book show promoter? What are you like? Frustrated through some of the stuff you had to do, or are you relieved? Are you, because it's different than what you've done in the past as far as going to shows and saying, hey guys, here's where we're at, this is what we're doing. You had to deal with people in a different way than what you normally do. You had to set up a show. Yes, you had help, but at the same time, you also had to do a lot of that stuff yourself. So what did you find most frustrating?
The help we had. Oh.
That's your family.
That's our family.
That is a good answer, though.
No, to me, it was. I don't want to say it over the line.
I'm going to tell you, my hardest part was getting over myself. My worrying about whether it's going to be okay, because a lot of these vendors are our friends and people we've met over the years and people we've gotten to know, and I didn't want to disappoint. You know what I mean?
And John, we talked about the Big D, you know, off camera.
John's been a little sexual tonight.
I know. Daryl says y'all did such a great job with Olo.
You did. It came out well. But you know, like in the beginning, I asked you to call around to start calling hotels and stuff. Did you not find that frustrating though?
That is extremely ridiculous. The
The
cost they were charging,
and
it's ridiculous.
And the weird rules that they had set up because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
Yes. But even so, there's a lot of hotels that won't book a show 3 to 6 months in advance unless you guarantee them hotels.
Right.
And my one friend that runs a nice little Power Ranger show, he learned that his first year when he made a guarantee to one hotel and couldn't fill it.
Yeah.
And that's hard. He's done well every show that he does. And I mean, I could never have 27. Well, wait. I'm having a lot of guests in September. Never mind. But his show every year, he's always got, 20, 27, 28, 30,
Mm-hmm.
30 starters from the show. That, I mean, the whole logistics of trying to get them all there, paying for rooms, doing this and that, and then worrying about whether it's all getting paid for at the end. And the other problem that we faced, besides you having to call around all these places, is that Orlando is kind of expensive.
Yes, it is. It very much is.
I mean, it is a good place to draw people from, but it's still very expensive to try to put a show on that you're trying to do well and keep affordable for everybody.
Oh, yeah. Daryl says we did such a great job with Olo. Thank you, Daryl. And Paige says, hi, Steve. Hi, Tom.
Hey,
Paige.
It's the better
nice
Neville.
to see ya.
And then Daryl said, I love being in the penthouse at Olo because he was with all the high-class people.
Yeah, well, that's where he wants to be, so we got to make sure he's happy.
Yes, Olo was a fantastic show. Thank you, Dave. Now, I think I'll be honest with the hardest part that I had was having to be more stern with some of these people that I consider friends, and then I have to be now you've gone from the friendship to I'm going to be an ass with you.
Well, it goes to the old adage if you give them an inch, they're going to try to take them out. And I get it. At every show, you want to get as much as you can. But at the same time, when you mark everything out, that's your space. That's where you're at. If you go into a show and there's nothing marked out and you're told, hey, you got a 10 by 10, well, it's not marked out. I'm going to grow as big as I can.
Right.
And it makes it confusing.
And you know who I'm talking about with that one because I asked nicely and they didn't want to listen to me nicely.
Yeah.
And then I had to become.
And that's the thing. I mean, you can look at the floor plan. We had it posted you had it on your website and everything. And, when they and the other thing that a lot of us do that you don't need to do is allow people to pick a spot. Most places you can't do that.
Right.
So that is that's a nice thing that you can do so that people can be near each other. They can pick where they want to be, and if they feel being at the front is the best spot or being here or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different aspect of way you have to approach everybody.
Mm-hmm.
As far as, I had one person go, well, I can't do your show. You're not being my buddy. I'm not there to be your buddy.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm there to make sure that the shows ran smoothly, and I stressed about it the whole time. And you learned, I mean, you're stressing about whether or not we're going to have enough people, whether or not we're going to fill the room quick enough. Is everybody going to be happy? And that's the thing. You can't make everybody happy.
Right.
You just can't. And you do have to, like you said, be stern with people. And, and what I've always tried to do, like if there's a major problem, is walk away and talk about somewhere else so that people don't see you yelling and screaming. There was an issue the one time at Daytona, and I could understand why Trina was hot and wanted to whoop this dude's ass.
I love Trina.
But the guy was being a jerk. And instead of her going to walk away, she wanted to have her last word, which, it's like I told her, it's like Fantasy Island. It's like Disney. Smiles, happiness, because you don't want people to see there's issues.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you deal with the issue. And once it's dealt with, you don't argue or talk about it until after the show.
Yep.
Let's move on. Let's do a good thing. and it's hard sometimes when you got help and they're at the door and they're on their phone and people are walking right in.
Or they don't show up until right when the show's gonna start.
But I get it. Is it volunteers? Is it people you're paying for? You know what I mean? So I just, I think you guys did a really good job with what you had to work with. And sorry I wasn't better help.
No, you were great help.
A big shout out to Louis Tudo because he helped out.
I mean,
it's
overall, I'm gonna say the turnout. Everybody wants to, they talk about the turnout and everything, but it was a group effort. It was a 100% group effort because we can't do it all, and all the vendors that promoted upon promoted.
Because that was one of my main things that I tried to push with all the vendors and guests is we can only hit so many people.
Yeah, there's only
you guys as the guests and vendors have to promote it also, and that's the only way we can ensure a good show.
Well, the other good thing is that you guys toured around for 2 weekends. That you went to West Coast and East Coast and everything. When you went,
we
never stopped. We never stopped.
But I mean, I know the 2 weekends so that you're on one coast and the other.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like your local store, Living Dead.
Yep.
Him and Cliff and Dave Finley, their stores where they got the flyers, they're pushing them out.
Yes.
And Living Dead did a hell of a job because he called me, I don't know how many times, hey, I need more.
Well, that's the thing when Cliff before COVID, when he was open, and he's a store that's only open a few hours a day. He's not open all day long. Mm-hmm. But out of all the stores I'd leave flyers that he was always calling me or texting me going, hey man, I need more flyers. I'm like, I just gave this dude like 100 flyers, and a week later he's like out. But everybody that came in the store, he would be like, this is a local show, this is what's going on. And that's what you want. And same thing like with Lee. If he's got flyers right there, he's gonna turn around and tell everybody about it.
Yep.
Yeah,
him and Frankie and Jay. They all did good. They said every time somebody bought, the flyer went right with them. Boom, boom, boom.
They
I was gonna start up here. Can't wait until Olo 2. John says Olo 2 electric boogaloo. John must be he's on it tonight.
Paige, what did you do to John?
It was a great just seeing so many good friends I had not seen in so long.
He has friends?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
we had a great time. Thanks for allowing us to be part of it. Thank you for being there, Graven.
Always.
Because Graven was a big part of it. He was the logo. He was all that. Got all that stuff up and going, making it look good for us.
My favorite was the orange with the mask. That was awesome.
Yeah, that came out good.
He was able to pull that off for me on short notice.
The banners and everything that we got made up, you guys are happy with all that and the signs? Yep. So.
Daryl, y'all had so many patrons there. There was no bad spots. That's
good to hear.
Well, he's only saying that because he couldn't step inside his booth. He had so many people.
That's a good thing. Yeah, that back corner got a little crowded back there.
You better not be talking about Kelsey. No,
talking
about Cutter and Gio.
The other one.
No, Kelsey's moving up. We're gonna start hiring her at all the shows.
She's
all right.
She is the bouncer.
Paige says, ha ha ha. I'm not telling what she did to John. And then hi.
Hi, Paige.
I can't wait till Christmas to get some more of her cookies.
I know, right? Jeez, we were fighting over on Paige. Just had to tell you.
So no, Olo, we enjoyed it, and like I told you, and I told Daryl, I was happy with how it came out.
Right.
And we did that in about 3 months. So what can we do in a year?
Well, exactly.
So
I just know when I said, "Hey, let's make this date," you were like, "What?" And I'm like, "Dude, we can do it."
Well, that's because we had the one date, and then it got took away from us.
The venue that promised us a date then suddenly took it away,
then you minus me a month. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, but we could do it. We did it.
We did it.
So
I'm gonna tell you, I was stressing about the tables there towards the end because it just those last couple tables were like, oh.
And it takes time though. But like we've got a show coming up on Saturday, Brick City, And yesterday and today, we've had people go, "Hey, I'll take one of your tables." Okay. The show is like in 3 days, and we have a wait list, so we're gonna have to put you on that. Oh, okay. It's
that says a lot.
But which is cool, you know. But at the same time, it's like, why do people wait till the last minute to ask? And then again, you know, there's other shows that you're like, at the last minute, you're like begging people to sign up. The funny thing is, whether it's people aren't sure right now because of COVID, or, you know, they're just.
Well, we understood. We're a first-time show, so people were taking a chance.
Yep.
But at the same time, you're in Orlando, which is, you know, a decent location, and you can draw from a lot of places. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the people that walked around the show are people I hadn't seen all year, even when I did some of the other different shows, and they hadn't been out, which was great. It was good to see a lot of them out. I actually got an email from somebody about Brick City that they said, "Oh, I see masks are required. It's great to see shows coming back, but I won't be there if I have to wear a mask." That's your choice.
Yeah.
You know? It's just like whatever you do at your store, your house, your show, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. But if you're going to come to this event on Saturday, you have to have a mask on while you're in there.
Yeah.
The venue is kind of like, yes, but we can't enforce it. But because we're running the show and my insurance says, yes, they have to wear it, or else your insurance is going way up.
Yeah.
And, you know, and some venues require a COVID rider. Other venues ask you for other things. Mm-hmm. Like after 9/11, terrorism is on every insurance policy if you want to get it. You know, it's something that's always offered to me. We always pass on it. But again, it's like COVID. There's a rider for that.
Right.
And not to take it sometimes it's silly because you're kind of gambling. You don't want anybody coming back on you later on. And like at hotels and stuff, you don't always need to have the insurance because they cover everything. But when, like the venue you guys were in, like the venue that we're going to be in, the auditorium and stuff, because it's owned by the county, they require that you have, you know, a certain amount of insurance to cover everything. Mm-hmm. It doesn't cover the fact that somebody steals a book from somebody, but it covers the fact that if there's a fire or there's suddenly a storm, the building falls down, some major thing, or some idiot comes there and gets drunk and drives all over the place and tears up the property. You know what I'm saying? It's right. You got to have insurance to cover it because sometimes people just get a little carried away. So,
yes, they do.
I'm gonna interrupt real quick. Guys, had a long day at the docks. I'm going to say goodnight. Just want to tune in and support you guys. Daryl, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Daryl.
And hopefully you had your pants on this time.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He was at the docks, and his
who knows what he was doing at the docks.
He might have to have the pants down to have some relief going on.
Daryl always has a good story about the doctor. So next time I see him, I'm sure I'm going to be entertained.
And Paige says, hopefully before Christmas again.
We won't argue, Paige. Well, I mean, we'll argue with each other as to who gets to eat the cookies, but we won't argue if we get them before then.
So let's go back to Brick City.
Okay.
Oh wait. Wish today was not a good day. Now see, it was the pantless day at the docks. That's never a good day when they have the rubber glove and say, cough.
Right.
Dave said, pants on, I'll be right back. No, Dave, you can have your pants off. It's just Daryl. We see him too much without pants on. Now, I am going to bring this up because I am that guy.
Okay.
Are you worried about the rain at all this weekend?
No, it's rained its ass off. That was that time when they had the thunderstorms and the little tornadoes and everything around Lakeland and all that. It's not supposed to be as rainy on Saturday, so we're hoping that we can get in, get set up, and do the show and have fun and get out there and nobody gets soaked. The last time we did that show, that whole morning it was horrendous. Mm. So. Plus, we had a couple people that didn't make it because of the storms. So, you know.
Well, we're gonna be there. We actually we're gonna be there the whole weekend. We're making a weekend out of it.
Good.
Because I gotta leave your show, run over to Toy King, Vintage
Yes.
Toy King.
Yeah.
Because you're in the area.
I'm in the area. He's not open on Sunday, so I gotta.
That's Saturday.
And then Roland nearly forgot Brick City was this weekend until somebody reminded me. But hey, he's ready.
That's because he's always doing all those
Online
online things. No.
Well, see, and then Roland, you can because Roland's on the show next week,
Okay.
so he can tell us about the experience he had at Brick City.
Well, the good thing is, Roland, I actually have something in Distorted.com that you were asking me about. I think I have 1 through 7. Got a bag for you. It's got your name on it. So
Look at that.
yeah, he asked about them a while back, and I put them in a bag and totally forgot about them. And then the other day in storage show, I was like, jackpot.
Roland when he wants to be.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. The good thing is that we've got Silver Line in Daytona in September, so we got a good group coming for that.
He says cool.
Yeah.
No, he didn't say cool. He says cool.
Cool.
Get it right.
And John Martin, what up, Trouble? He's the Viking. Prince.
Yeah.
He's gonna be at
He's
Daytona,
going to be at Daytona, yes.
and he's gonna bring his wings with him.
Well, I hope so.
He's the Viking Prince.
Or have the hat on, that's all.
Okay.
One of the two.
Roland's LOLing. I totally forgot. Now, besides Brick City,
Yes.
have you come across any cool collections lately?
I bought a small little mid-grade one that I took a picture of, and promptly everybody wanted to ask me about it. And
I didn't ask you. I just looked at it and drooled a little bit. I had to clean off the phone.
So at the show I just did in Tampa, I had a graded House of Secrets 92 for Swamp Thing. That was an 8.5. So we did a sale trade with one person, and then the other one that came out of that collection I just bought, we sold that. So, but as far as like big, like really super cool collections, no. As far as selling something that's cool, sold a page from X-Men 94, page 6, went in auction, did that. So, yeah, I wish I could find more comics. It's a hard thing down here is trying to find comics.
Well, you got everybody buying now.
Yes.
Buying.
Well, that and everybody's looking for bronze and silver. Page comics, which I mean, it's pretty tough to find them.
John says no wings or golden bra. So Roland says he'll give John $1 if he'll wear the golden bra. I'll match that and we'll go $2.
I'll give you 10.
Oh look at now you're up to $12. And you better add some zeros to the end of that. So there's
some zeros.
Yeah.
$10 out there.
0, 0.
So yeah, so I would love to see that between me and come up with something. And especially Tom. Tom gets his hands on a lot of that vintage stuff. Him and
Occasionally, yeah. We're doing more of the I don't know, like little toys and trading cards and that kind of stuff right now. Jake just posted some PSA horror cards that he got from the 50s and 60s.
I was wondering. I told Trish, I commented on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, Tom's gonna hate us because we're having this long conversation on your phone.
I don't. No, it's cool because that's neat stuff. And that's the cool stuff we like. You know, the past show I was at, people are like, "Oh, you brought toys." I had a toy show. It's not just comics. Our company's name is Pop Culture Playground. So we do a little bit of everything. If you go online, a lot of the stuff that Jake's selling is this cool stuff that he's picked up.
Now I need to get hold of Jake because while you guys were having fun at the toy show, me and Trish went garage sailing and Goodwill hunting. We got some good deals, but I never find the stuff at garage sales that Jake does.
I don't know how he does it. I really don't. For a guy that has a full-time job, busy with his family all the time, he finds some cool stuff. I go in the areas he goes in, I find nothing. I go look at my Goodwill. He showed me stuff that he bought, some jacket, some golf clubs. I'm like, I can't find nothing like that. I go to my Goodwill and it's like nothing. So
Trish is going to show you something she picked up at Goodwill.
This was my unbelievable find. That
well,
was
that's pretty cool.
And it had a wreath on the top of it.
Right.
She didn't like the wreath. But this, she got it. Trish wants me to show it.
I know, that's pretty cool.
It's Cinderella with Prince Charming. It's an actual, what is it?
Bradford Exchange.
Bradford Exchange. And you see, oh, she took off the sticker. We got it for $3.99
Nice.
at Goodwill. And it lights up.
Yeah, it has light up.
It
Cool.
does the lights up. This is a $90 thing from Bradford Exchange.
That I got for $3.99.
See?
As a Goodwill.
I'm gonna have to hire you, and you can work with Jake. We'll have all kinds of cool stuff.
Let's go up here real quick. Boom. What's up, Tom from Marco?
Hey, Marco, how you doing, buddy?
And John says more zeros.
Sorry, John. I'll have to think about it. How about lunch? Lunch for 2 days plus $10 plus the $2 they're gonna give you.
Paige says, and creepy stuff.
Creepy stuff.
Stuff that they find.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
You need to slip the Goodwill.
Keep going down.
People. Slip the people at Goodwill. A 20. Okay, John. I want to know what you're drinking tonight because
He's on target tonight. He's
it's been a while. He's usually having to work on the nights of the show. So no, I mean we found we found some good books and stuff because we not comic books,
Right.
but books. But
Thank you.
and that reminds me because I did pick up a comic book set this weekend at Goodwill. Humans,
Which series?
the one from 14.
Okay.
I'm missing number 1 off it. I got 2 through, what is it, 15? The rest of it plus the annual, but it was missing number 1.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you.
I don't know if we find the card later on. We'll look. I'll let you know if I got it. Because there's a couple. The one series, the number 5 is worth some money.
Well, I got number 5.
I just don't remember which series it is. Because there's a couple different ones.
It was one of it that they had the whole stack, and they wanted $20 for it. It's like, you know what? I'll go. After 2 days of hunting garage sales
Right.
and everything, this is the first comics I've come across.
Yeah,
Did
some
you-
of the people at those garage sales were like, get off of eBay and quit trying to sell it at a garage sale.
Well, that's eBay's both helpful and hurtful.
You're at a garage sale. You didn't sell at a garage sale for eBay prices.
Well, there was, and then there was one person. We hit this community garage sale. It started out good, we were finding a couple things, and then here comes this couple with a truck going out and buying out everybody from everyone.
Really?
Yep. We'll come back with a U-Haul. Just put it aside for us. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do anything about it, but it's
Must be
like,
somebody with a secondhand store or something that would be buying like that.
Yeah, it's secondhand store or like a flea market or something.
we pulled up to one. They're like, I'm sorry, somebody just bought us all out. It's like, really?
John says he's drinking Coke Zero, but there's got to be something in
Yeah, well, there's rum in that Coke Zero. There's always rum with the Coke. You know that.
there.
He is working right now. And John, I'm working and listening to the show. Now, okay, so I have Tom on the show. You can work and listen. I don't have Tom on the show. You can only work.
Speaking of which, are you ready for this weekend, John?
That's why he's working. You gotta try that one.
That's funny.
Passion fruit cider. I know that's something you picked.
That's not bad.
Okay. Passion fruit cider.
From our not a sponsor yet at Total Wine and More.
I love that place.
I get in trouble. She only lets me go like every so often. When we start seeing lots of holes in the fridge,
Right. That's
It's
why
like-
you got to go shopping.
yep.
Because we buy, it's always this looks good, this looks good, this looks good. Because you can buy singles.
Yep. No, that's the only way to do it. Now, does yours have a sample bar over there at the side or anything?
They have the wine tasting section.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sometimes the wine tasting they do like the beers and samples. So
I bet
guess
you
it all
on certain
depends.
days.
Yeah, certain days
Probably.
or whatever.
And Paige says no. I don't know what the no was. I guess he was trying to touch her. I can toss out those stingers when Tom is on, and he's still doing work. No, but I think we had a pretty good haul this weekend
We did
from
really
the
good.
garage sales and stuff. And because the little little boxes that we have on the walls.
Yeah.
We went to one garage sale. Lady had some one sitting over there, and we're like, "Well, how much is that?" She's like, "Well, I really wasn't wanting to or going to sell it, but I'll sell you 3 for $5 if you want." Well, yeah, sold.
Might as well.
Because we found out that those work great for, like, in there we have them for the collections and
Yeah.
stuff like that in our bedroom. It makes them look nice. Like
Nice
that. That's
little-
all for my coffee. I can have all my coffee area.
Yeah.
Over here is for the fish, and you see I even put Aquaman above it. So
And the creature.
and the creature.
I have one of those at the house, by the way.
What, creature?
Creature, yeah. I know I got an Aquaman, but very cool. I like that.
But yeah, it's like, well, we have the shelves, and I don't mind the shelves, but it's like these things they're a little cooler, and you can set
Yeah, you
in
can-
and on. And I don't know if you
Something
saw
else
in the
to display.
kitchen where Trish has all her cups all.
No, I have to go back and look on that.
My addiction to those thermal cups.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have some on this side over here that holds all my spices for cooking. Because I watch all those cooking shows, and they just open up their thing. And they have like cupboards dedicated for spices.
Right, for
I don't-
certain items and
it's
certain
like-
spices.
He saw one where they opened up the drawer and you could almost hear the sound of his head go, oh, because they're all lined out perfectly and spaced perfectly. And yeah.
See, when you go to the grocery store, do you ever just stand there and look at all the different ones?
Yes.
I
I'm
do.
sitting there looking, going, now which one's the Trina have? I really don't care. I want this one. But I never buy them because it's like she does all the cooking right now most of the time. So it's like, yeah.
He's the one who does all the cooking now, so.
I even have apricot seasoning in there. I haven't used it yet, but it's like
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy it.
One of these times you will. and-
I'll rub it over something. And Roland's down there. Steve cooks.
Yeah, Steve does cook. I've eaten Steve's food and live to tell you that it's enjoyable and good.
I'll be honest with you, he cooks more than I do.
I made a killer meatloaf the other night.
Yeah, it was good.
She didn't
The
like it.
afterbite was the aftershock.
Had some crushed peppers in it.
Uh-huh.
While you go, she's a wuss when it comes to spice, and I put very little in, but she must
Yeah,
have
but
liked
those crushed
things.
peppers, yeah. No, we put it on spaghetti every now and then. And it's like sometimes you're like eating, all of a sudden it's like all the peppers went to one area. You know, it's like ooh. But
Yeah, you could tell where there were a little bit more in part of the meatloaf and a little bit less. But it was good. Don't get me wrong.
We got Christopher Gonzalez saying, hello, guys. Hey, Christopher. Hope you're doing good. You know Christopher, don't you?
name sounds familiar. He's always on your shows. I'm
He-
sure if I
he-
saw him, I know who he is. I'm
he-
terrible with names.
He runs that little show in Kissimmee at the beginning of the year in January.
The one that's in the shopping plaza.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
stopped in and looked through that one. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
He-
Christopher.
Okay.
yeah, he's usually at Jeff shows. He sells all the Nintendo stuff or the video gaming stuff and everything. Really good guy. Love him. Hopefully I can get him to next year.
That would be good.
Because I know I heard a couple of people saying They thought there might be a little more video game stuff.
And that's the thing, though, I was trying to find a good selection. And with the vendors that you picked, you had a pretty rounded selection of stuff. And that's the thing. Some shows have themes, and people know that there's a certain amount of things, and that's it. And your show is rounded in a lot of different things.
That's because we want everybody to come. We want everybody to want to come.
Well, I want everyone to come to Daytona, but at the same time, I want to make it a comic book show, not a Comic Con. Because everybody goes, "Oh, I want to go to San Diego." Well, I've been in San Diego quite a few times, and San Diego as a vendor, when you see 10,000 people run right past you to go get the free crap that they can suddenly put online to make money.
Now, see, that was one compliment by a certain somebody that we were talking about that showed up at our show. He's like, because I did go up, thank him for coming to the show and everything. He's like, it's nice to see that this is a true comic and toy show. No huge guests or anything. And it's like,
that's the thing. I've already got people asking me about the Daytona show in September. Are you having celebrities? I'm gonna have a couple wrestlers, and the only other celebrities I got are the comic book artists and the comic book publishers. Those are my celebrities, and the vendors. Because without the vendors paying to be there and coming to hawk their books, I can't afford to put that show on.
Yep.
And and they cover the cost of the room and everything, and the advertising, and then anything we make out the door afterwards. If I'm not giving it away for something, because that's the thing. When we did the costume contest, we were giving away $700 to $1,000 every time we did that show. Usually it was $700. The one time Joel got a hold of the money, and the next thing I know, I was out $1,000. But that was the money from the door that we turned around and put back into the room.
Right.
Because in order for them to get anything, if they won, first, second, or third prize, they had to go back into the store and shop, back into the show and shop. And this drew people back in there. Well, some people thought it was stupid. Some people that were in costume will go, "So I want a certificate." You want a certificate, or do you want to go buy something cool?
Yeah.
I mean and we always tried to make sure all the little kids won, so they could go in and go spend $10 and go buy a pop or something. It's just this way. It took money back into the room, kept everybody interested, And then the last few hours weren't like, "Oh, we had the costume contest and they got a Walmart card and they left." They had spending cash and they have to go back in. So it's every show is different. However you try to do it, you got spooky. We all know that's a horror show.
Yep.
They go the darker side of Comic Con. It's a horror show. It's not the darker side of Comic Con. Comic Con is, to me, Comic Con isn't what I'm trying to do at Daytona. Daytona is old school. It's if you went to Heroes Con, if you went to Baltimore Comic Con, if you went to a lot of the shows that are ran in the Carolinas, that's comic book. It's comic books. It's comics and toys. It's not comics, toys, and then a bunch of other stuff that has nothing to do with what we're doing.
Well, see, and that's like with Olo. Like I told Trish, I wanted a mixture of Daytona and Infinity. Because you guys go two different, completely different shows. I want to be in the middle. I want a mixture of both.
Well, Louis presents, and it pisses me off to no end because he comes out there and he puts out a nice product.
Yes.
You got carpet down, you got drapes up, you got skirting, and I want to punch him in the little head and tell him, "Dude, you're killing me." But at the same time, what he's doing is he's bringing a quality product.
Yes.
And he has the stuff, and he can do it, and he presents. Whereas I'm trying to go more comics, he's trying to go more, hey, let's bring in, toys, collectibles, a little bit of everything. And you're basically falling in the middle of the two shows. They're two bigger shows. We're not like big shows, but we can be considered a large, small show or a medium show. And if you can bring something in the middle and draw from both of those shows, you can put out a really good product. And that's, you come in, you mark out the space, you come in, you put the names down on the tables, to sit there and people come in, they don't want to wait there and be told, "Hey, you're here. They want to come in, they've seen a map or something, they know where it's at, they should be able to go over there and find their table. Shows they buy hundreds of tables, and you'll see them at some of the shows. Well, you saw them at Olo.
Yeah.
They put little stickers
Yep.
on there. And the gun show dudes don't mess around. Your table's your table. Your space is your space. Don't add, don't, And that's why we left at Olo. We left 2 foot in between some of the tables so that people didn't have to crawl underneath tables.
Yep.
There was a show I did a couple years, and you'd have to fall down and roll underneath the table to go to the bathroom. Well, as I've gotten older, I'm not falling down because I can't get back up. But I got to go to the bathroom a lot more than I used to have to 10, 15 years ago. And I went down and did this guy's show a couple years ago, and I went, hey, I want to be right here in the end, and I'm pulling my tables out so that when people walk down, they're not banging into my rack, and it's just, as a promoter, you got to look at it from all aspects. You got to look at it as, who am I bringing in here as far as clientele? What kind of vendors do I have? And if I'm bringing them in, am I going to have the right, attendees for them? And then can I afford the venue? And can I pay for it? And can I make money at the end that's going to cover any other expenses I have?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it's just going out there, promoting it, standing behind it, making it work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hit these real quick. John says he's a video game guy about Christopher. Like I told you.
Yeah.
He says, I'm the big guy with the hurt knee this last weekend. Roland's like, I thought the Daytona books were pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's something different. This year, because we're going to be in 2 buildings, we're going to try something where make up a card or something and call it Around the Con or Passport Around the Con, and you have to go into both buildings and have like 5 vendors either mark it or sign it from each side, and then you put it into one of the entrances. There'll be a place where you can drop it off, and you'll have your email or your phone number or something on it, and we'll have packages of stuff for people to win every day.
That's cool.
And then we'll go, we won't put the whole name. We'll just say, hey, Joe and Pete and Sarah, these people won something. But this way they can go to both rooms, and we can also gather some contact info. But at the same time, it gives them some fun to go around.
Mm-hmm. And you make sure everybody
Yes.
gets opportunity to be seen or to.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, and that's something we're going to try. That I want to try, and we'll see how that works. And then actually, one of Roland's guys is going to do the art for the badges that we're going to have for all the vendors and guests and stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So that'd be pretty neat.
John, real comic shows, not guys selling inside and siding.
Yeah. So the one year we're at Tampa, and diagonally across from me is a guy, and he comped one of his booths to somebody because they paid for the 2 booths so that they could bring in a sleep mattress, and they had a girl dressed up as the Black Cat the one time and as something else the next day. So all the fans would walk by, all the fanboys, and go, "Oh, look!" But they were trying to sell bed. But that was the only way they could get in. And again, we've seen that. We've seen insurance. We've seen siding. We've seen all this at the bigger shows. And that's that's Comic-Con. Well, to me that's not what I want to be there for.
No.
Well, they've also gone way past that to way past PG too.
Yes. Well, that like we talked about the tinted in area. You pay and you go in, you get to see this or that. It's like that's fine, but this isn't an adult thing. This should be a family thing.
Family friendly.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm very particular, and
as you found out,
a few conversations that Steve and I have had, that I would like it to be family friendly all the time, because we have friends, we have families, we have everybody who has kids, and I don't want them to ever feel like it's not a place that they feel they can bring their kids.
See, during the late
so that's
80s,
why we have to keep Christian away.
I know.
Well, during the late 80s into the 90s, you could sell a lot of adult stuff and not have a problem. And I always made sure that the boxes were marked, adult material, had a lid on it. You have to be a certain age to look, blah, blah, blah. At Olo, I didn't bring any adult stuff. I didn't bring any undergrounds. I didn't bring any of that counterculture or high times or any of that. Even though I like to bring that kind of stuff and have it because we have clientele for it. It's just every show is different.
Right.
And everybody's trying to reach a different audience.
It's different with how you're doing it compared to, You don't have it on your back rack, displayed up.
If I've got a crumb piece and the boobies are too big and there's stickers on it so you can't see
Exactly. I've never seen anything that you've had posted, or most of the other comic people put it up knowing full well that there are going to be kids with their parents.
The Betty Page comics that are coming out. There's ones where she's nude. I mean, this is stuff that was taken during the 50s and stuff. Nowadays, you look at it and go, that's pretty mild compared to some of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But they have the bags that are black, so all you see is her head and those. And those are good for display.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right, like the old Playboys and Hustlers when you could get them at any store.
Yes.
You can see the face, but
yeah.
And when you're a teenage boy, you're trying to pull that plastic away to see everything.
Unfortunately, a lot of that stuff doesn't have any value anymore because everything's online.
Right.
And unless it's really early stuff, and that's we buy stuff, but everybody's calling me up going, we got Playboys from the 60s and 70s. I'm like, yeah, it's not from the 50s.
We actually had somebody reach out to us. Hey, I got that. You think it would sell at your show? No.
And that's the thing. I mean, you're looking for a certain image for your show and certain things you want there. Same thing with Louis. You want to keep it all family friendly. I'm the same way, but I also want to keep it so that it's old school comic books.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that if somebody goes, I'm going to MegaCon, I'm going to buy comics. Okay. Go there, then come see me in Daytona,
come back.
And then tell me who's got more comics per square foot. I've already got a guy signed up and paid coming out of Maryland, another guy out of Virginia, a couple of them out of Georgia.
You got that one guy coming back from the land, right?
One guy from the land.
Yeah.
Cliff?
No, the one you had at the land.
Jack that had the out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Fortress Comics. He'll be back.
Sorry, I couldn't remember the name.
No. And that was for sure. And he said, hey, I'm coming all the way from Kentucky. I'm like, seriously, dude? I mean, I've had people travel before, but that's a bit of a way to come for a one-day show. He goes, I've got family. So he came, he did the show. He goes, man, you treated me good. I'm happy. I did well. I want to do your next show. I said, the other ones we're doing are too small for what you want to do. But you definitely want to come to Daytona. So he signed up. He's coming. So we got him, couple, John Neville knows him, my country boys, the cousins, the family. They're going to come down from North Georgia. It's
a hell of a show.
We're
get to everybody.
Yeah, we're trying to get a little bit of everybody in there, so that it's there's always something new and different and different people to see. And again, it's ways down. So Brick City is Saturday. And that long ass address.
And once again, guys, because I know Trish you haven't put it up yet, have you?
There it is. There's the address.
No, well, I know. But
did.
Usually she does the link over to the side. Let's go up here. Graven says, hey guys, great to see you. Unfortunately, I have to run and get back to work grind, but looking forward to seeing you all on Saturday. Hugs. Have a good night, Graven.
Yep.
Good night. See you Saturday.
Don't understand why you can't still listen to us while you're working like other people.
Like John does. Tom does that too.
No,
I'll forgive you, Graven.
I always Tom's there. That's why I'll make a mention of Tom and I'll get a, hey guys.
Yeah, but I don't want to say that when you said that something about there was beer for me and everything. I was going to go, when you were talking to Anna, I was going to write in there and go, I'm not an alcoholic. And I'm like, no, I better not claim that either.
Hey, nobody else gets to claim that they have a spot in my beer fridge.
And I greatly appreciate that. That's very nice. There's only one other place I can go to when he shares his beer with me is Tony's house.
I think Tony shares everything.
Yeah, no, he's all right. He's got the puppy dog, everything.
Now Roland says, I love the fact that it is family friendly. Geekdom should be about the families. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Paige, some of those cosplayers though, some of those outfits, like painting your body green and put a couple leaves on.
We were out there the one year in San Diego, and this girl walks by, and we all look over, and we're like, no, she is naked. But they had airbrushed her to look like a cow, and so she had gloves as udders.
That's freaking hilarious.
Well, she didn't get more than about 3 feet past the aisle that we were on, where all of a sudden the people from San her a blanket to put around her. But she was totally naked, other than the gloves over her. I mean, she was airbrushed, so if you're looking at it, you're kind of like, but
What am I looking at?
that was like 30 seconds of like, oh my goodness, really? And then here's this blanket and these people, and they escort her out. You know, but that's the thing. So back in the 70s, you know, you could do all that kind of stuff. You can't now. You really.
No.
And there's some people
Not that they haven't tried.
Yes, well, there was one person bitching about somebody that was at one of our shows doing a costume contest, and I'm like, I'm looking, I'm going, that boy's not even bad, and they're like, no, not that one, that one. I went over and I went, she doesn't have anything on hardly. It was.
Yep,
yeah.
I remember that year.
Yeah.
Couple of strategically placed leaves that
And
really hope they're going
And then she couldn't believe she didn't win the contest.
Yeah, and you shudder over this because there's kids right there.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. It's, you know, so you're trying to run a nice show and make it family friendly, and you don't want somebody's family member to get bent about something and be all upset because somebody was not appropriately dressed. But at the same time, you're looking at them going, I've seen worse on TV.
Yeah.
I've seen worse in the comic books. You know, it's a fine line right now.
Yeah.
John says the family, the cousin.
Yeah, they're going to be down, John.
And then Dave says, cue the banjos. And then we got Matashi. Hey, Matashi, long time no here. He is a social media influencer. He does a lot of videos on Twitch and YouTube. He does a lot of streaming. So thanks for coming on, Matashi. He's also a friend of Kelsey's.
Gotcha.
So one day we'll have him on to see if we can get his viewers to follow us.
Nice.
Over. Now, see, the one thing, going back to cosplayers, I know you were worried about the cosplay contest at Olo. How did you like how that actually ended up?
Well, see, I wasn't over that way, and I was too damn busy where I was at, so I never got a chance to find out.
But, well, see, the thing is, it was a walking cosplay. They just come up, they would sign, he'd take a picture, and they keep going. And then at the end, he contacted me, Trish, and somebody else, and Joe, and we sat there and went through who we all liked, and he called in.
Oh, nice.
So no congregation.
It worked.
I think Dylan has come up with a great idea, especially in these times, with the walking cosplay contest.
Yep. It was awesome.
That's something to think about.
It came out of his pocket, so I'm actually thinking next year of sharing with him with it, because it was a good idea. It turned out great. And
See,
no
that would get me out of having to do all that at Daytona, because right now they're still, the fairgrounds is telling me what they want to do and don't want to do, and they don't want to do panel rooms, because if they do, they got to put a table, and then you got to go 6 foot in another one, and that's the fairground people themselves.
Yeah.
That's not Volusia County or any. That's the people that actually own all the buildings and everything. But to do something like that with Dylan would probably be something that if I said, hey, here's a table, you're in charge.
Yeah, he'd love it.
Then I would have to come up with some gifts and stuff or whatever, but that might be a way to do it. This guy Johnny that runs Orlando Anime Day and Jacksonville Anime Day and does a show out in Tampa. That's what he does, is he gives all the vendors a paper, and then everybody in the costume contest goes around to different vendors, and they say, hey, I'm number such and such. And then you can either write notes or put down number so-and-so's 5 or 6 or 10 or whatever. And since I'm not a big anime person, I was always like, did you make your costume? Did you know, who are you, or what's your powers? You know, and it's this way you learn a little bit, but at the same time, Johnny's not running around doing it. He's running the front. He's got everything else, and they're stopping at all the vendors' places. So either whether they buy something or not, they've got to stop and they've got to engage you when you're not busy. Because that's his other rule. They're busy, you got to move on and come back, you know, when they're not busy. So this is something that that Aaron Rice got me involved in one year. He's like, can you come run my booth and stuff for me, and I'll give you, you know, part, and you can run, you know, sell anime comics. I was like, cool. Well, as busy as we were and as much money as I made, I was like, I'll come back. But that was the year that they did that show over there off of 436. or something. The one that's in the Highlight Building.
Oh, down 1792.
1792. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
remember
Christian
that
and
show.
all them were there, and I was taking pictures. Like I had like over 1,000 people in this room, and it was very limited to the amount of vendors that was in there. I was like taking pictures and sending them to him, and he sent me back pictures of guests and people like sleeping. And I was like, oh my God, really? He's like, yeah. He goes, it's dead here. And but that was the difference is that, Johnny just needs a month. The hotel says, hey, we have this date open. Cool. And he's got 500 to 1,000 anime people that come. And he's got most of the same vendors, but they're bringing in plushes. They're bringing in, the stuff that they
I have to
collect.
say, anime conventions draw the crowds.
And
Yeah,
look at
it's-
MyCon. MyCon is a little.
It's a little anime, but it's also a little other stuff mixed in there. Some
There's
stuff.
always people
But
there.
it's more anime than other stuff. But it does have the other stuff because you see my movie script up there that's signed.
Yep.
I got that from there.
Yeah,
But-
see, and that would be my kind of show. And that's the thing. But it would be good for other people that have the anime
Well,
and stuff.
I was disappointed because there's usually a comic guy that's there every year.
Mhm.
He wasn't there this year.
Yeah, you had like 2 or 3 tables. One year you filmed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I always look forward to going and seeing what's there, and he wasn't there, so it's like, oh,
But they always put on a nice little show.
they do. And I like the girls; they're really good, and it is well done. There's some of the bigger anime shows that we just won't.
The Holiday in Missouri is like it's
I,
crazy, but again, like somebody like our friend Christian does super well there with the
Yeah.
stuff that he has. And that's a show that, I'm sure he'll never give up because it does well for what he has. But it's not
well,
my
I
kind of show.
don't know. Will he give up the manatees to go to there?
Well, he might after being out there in the heat.
I never heard how it went for him. I know he was dying of heat, but
Yeah, no, I think the first day was kind of hot for him. I don't know overall. I think he said he did okay. So
he would have done better at Olo.
he would have had. Yeah, I think he would have. Yeah,
I'm gonna say that because I was like,
but then you would have had your hands full trying to chase him around.
I look like a manatee sometimes, so I would just have to make sure he kept his clothes on.
Yeah.
But see, I'm bad because usually me and him together is not a good. We end up touching people and.
Oh my goodness.
It's wrong on so many levels.
Yes, no, that's yeah, you're getting out of the PG and into the other area here.
Oh, on the show we can go there. I mean, but on Olo we can't. Manatees in heat with Christian, not a good situation for the manatees. That's why there's so many more manatee injuries this year. If you notice, it's a high year for them.
Sure. Oh.
But okay, Daytona's coming up. 2 buildings.
Yep, 2 buildings. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put food trucks through the middle because there's a midway. So you gotta drive, then a little island, then another drive. There's a gate down the far end, so they can park outside or they can come inside the area where we're at and park. We were talking to David that runs the Infinity Con up in Tallahassee. He has a trailer with video games. So we're going to see if that can be something that we can arrange. And then Louis has a friend that has a trailer that has a flight simulator on it.
See, Louis is another guy who knows the guy.
Yes.
Yes, but Louis gotten his hands into a lot of things right now. He recently purchased a company where he has the fun houses, the bounce house.
Yeah.
So,
We found out about that.
but from what he told me, they clean everything, they bring it, they set it up, they clean it right there in front of the people. They make sure that before they deflate it, they clean it again, then drop it down. So, because you got all these kids in there bouncing around, and I think it's that like for so long, and then they have to get out, and then they have to spray it down, and then they let them back in.
And I learned at the Olo show that he sells real estate up
Yes.
north.
Yeah.
It's like I never knew that about him. But hell, we've known him for how many years, and I just found out what his last name was like a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's not merchandise and it's not marbles. No, Louis got his fingers into a lot of things.
Yeah, he's another guy that I don't know how he has any time.
Got kids.
He's got all the kids, and they're all in sports.
Yeah.
And Sophie makes it look so easy because she's just so calm. So
oh,
mellow.
you ain't caught her on the wrong day where she's ready to lay into the kid. Yeah, no, one or two of them have made a few little mistakes, and she's like, "Oh, come here." I was like, "I'm going the other way. I don't see what's gonna happen." But no, she does good. And when they run their show, the whole family's involved in it.
Yep.
And just about everybody that's always there helping and setting stuff up is related one way or the other. I mean, they all work good together.
Oh, awesome. They're fun to mess with too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The boys are fun to mess with.
Okay, so you got food trucks in the middle.
Yep, food trucks, probably a video thing, probably the flight simulator, and then we got contacted last year, but COVID stopped it from customers with cause. So it's these cosplay people that they come there to different events, just like the 501st and a couple others. So what we're gonna do with them is we're gonna give them a table inside the small press showcase room. And then we're going to give them a table outside as long as weather's good, if they want to bring a tent. And then this way, we'll have them letting people know that there's two buildings. We'll also be out there letting people know so that it doesn't matter which building you go in, you pay $10, you go to either one, both of them. And then we figure if we do this passport around the con, that this will cause people to at least walk around, look. So I got to start saving some good books up so I got some cool stuff for people to win.
See, that's why Tom wanted to give us a table, because he could stick us in one building and not have to see us in.
No. I gotta walk both of them. Actually, I got your daughter. She told me she was gonna work for us, so.
Oh, she is so happy. She wanted to ask you a question. You need to. I told her to get hold of you.
I'll cover her for lunch for both days.
Well, no, it was something about the hotel. You said something about a hotel.
Yeah, she needs a hotel if she wants to come. So she's there early for Saturday and Sunday. I can cover her for 2 nights.
Okay. No, I told her to get hold of you, and her work's been weird right now. So.
Yeah, no, we'll work it out with her, because this way I don't have to worry and stress too much about that one room. And then my friend Aaron is going to take care of most of the guests and stuff in the other room. And then I have some other guys that said that they'd come help. So we'll have them to make sure everybody has wristbands, blah, blah, blah.
One show and you're already stealing our muscle.
Sorry. I was going to steal long before your show. It was in the back of my mind. I'm like, I wonder if Kelsey would work for. I mean, I don't have Frank Miller. I don't have Stan Lee. I don't have all these big names that she was hanging out with.
All you got to do is offer her a chance to headlock somebody who didn't pay when they walked in the door.
It's all hers, because I can't run fast. So
she won't yell like Trina, but she'll definitely she'll definitely stop them at the door.
I figure between Trina, Brenda, got Gabrielle coming back.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gabrielle will be there.
Yep. So, and they all do good. We're glad to have that, especially at the front. I don't have to worry about nothing anymore. They do what they got to do. And then I'll get a couple of the guys to help me get everything set up and, put them all to work. So.
Sean says the classic comics guy. That was one of the best panels I ever went to.
Oh yeah, we had a guy that lives in Daytona. And
okay.
He's an expert on classics.
Okay, now I understand that.
Right.
John can't type right tonight.
Well,
Bring
he
back
might be drinking more than us.
the classic comics guy.
Well, he was over in the panel room on Sunday, and I wanted to go see him, and something happened. I couldn't get over there right away. And I get over there with John, and he's like talking, and he's going on the spiel, and there was only us and like 1 or 2 other people in there, and that was it. And it was like, I felt bad because, I mean, he was good on what he presented. He brought in stuff for show and tell. He had this box that he had bought off me a long time ago that had classics that came in a box. But then he was showing us pictures of records and pictures of all this other stuff. And it was very interesting to learn about Classic Illustrates that, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, this and that. And it's like the different printings, the different things you have to learn about them in different countries. Because it was, you know, they've been printed in all these different countries. And then I was actually fortunate enough that the one day he asked me to come over to the house and look at some books. He's got original paintings on the wall of some of the covers and stuff that were done.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh my God. He goes, well, I sold this one, and this one because I needed money, but then things got better, so then I bought these other ones. And I'm like, oh my God, where do you buy these at? These are beautiful. Because, you know, you're looking at, like, you know, when you look at a comic cover, you're like, oh, okay, it says Classic Illustrate, there's words, there's a price. But when you come in and you see a painting, an oil painting, and you see the stuff, and you're like, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
And, you know, and like you have pages up there on the wall.
Yeah.
He had all the pages to one of the classics that he bought off somebody that, you know, it's every page. Even the cover is, you know, done that way and stuff. And it's like, I'm looking at it all, I'm like, dude, want to sell any of this? Oh, no, I just want to show you my collection. Here's what I want to sell you. There's a little small section, which was cool because I got some good stuff. But he showed me an incredible collection of Classic Illustrates, and he's very knowledgeable. He wrote an article and wrote a book on it. So yeah, John and I had a lot of fun. He was handing out all these different pictures, and he's like, at the end, he goes, "Do you guys want to keep any?" And John and I were fighting over which ones we wanted to keep, and I still have them to this day. It's just some of them I've never seen.
That's awesome.
And it's cool. And the guy had a lot of knowledge. Right now there are no panels planned simply because of the way they're telling me I got to do things. It's just like all the food trucks. They can't bring anything but Coke products to drink because of the
contract
that they have.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't have to, you know, to buy out at.
So Robert,
at Olo
Cherry
was way
Coke.
too much.
Cherry Coke.
But you know, like at Olo, we wanted to bring food trucks in, and they wanted all that money. It's not like that up there. It's you know, if they tell me, hey, it's $100 a truck, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
If they tell you it's 3,000, okay, I'll eat your food, whatever.
Hey, I heard the food that
I heard it was good too.
I heard it was great.
We just never made it over there to eat it.
Besides the bottle of water and the soda I drank, and nothing to eat, and I don't know how many drinks she made me. I was good to go.
We were both
Because that one picture, Nick goes, did you see that picture? And I was like, yeah. He goes, I was going to highlight that one part and show you what you look like. I was like, dude, I didn't eat all day, man.
I was like, I've never seen Tom that.
Well, they were all like, we've never seen you like this. And I'm like, yeah, it's been a while. It's when you don't have anything in your stomach, there's a problem.
And it was good rum.
It was great.
Oh, yeah.
Very good rum.
Yeah, that was good. And Michelle had to drive me over there, and everybody's like, "Are you sure you're okay? Are you sure you're okay?" And I'm like, "Pretty certain I'm okay." Especially where Michelle parked my van and went out. I'm like, "Holy shit! I better not be drunk," because I had to back out and weave in between because of the way people had parked. Because when she first pulled in, the one guy hadn't been a dumbass, but he came in later, and he was parked like 3 feet.
Daryl.
Further out. No. Daryl was over the other end.
Well, Daryl wasn't even there. Daryl was on his way back.
Yeah, that day he was on his way back. But no, it was a good time. We had fun. Nice thing was Nick followed me all the way home, make sure nothing happened. And,
that was nice.
Yeah, no, I appreciated that. But yeah, backing out, I was like, God, I better not be drunk because if I am and I hit something, they're all going to yell at me. And I got out, and I turned around, and I waited, and then Nick showed up, and then I started, and he followed me back. And
that's what Con Family's all about.
Yeah, no, they're all good people. I'll hang out with some great people. So.
John said he was amazing and so knowledgeable, and he still has many printouts he gave.
Yeah. No, he like I said, he printouts out. He showed them to us. Because you can't bring all them books. And you know, like I said, I was fortunate enough to go over, look at his collection he had, which was pretty incredible.
Well, one day, me and Trish gotta go check out your collection.
It's an accumulation. I don't collect anything.
Well, your accumulation, because we hear everybody else, and I know you've invited us. You said whenever, but it's the time, you know.
Oh no! And one of these days you'll drive by, and you know, just don't be like Michelle and Dave. They come over to the house, they walk in. I'm like, hey, they don't even talk to me. They walk over, And Michelle's like, oh, Carbon. Dave's like, oh, Carbon. So they start playing with my cat right away. They don't care about visiting me. They didn't even care about comic books.
See the cat.
Yeah, they came to see the cats. And then they brought treats over. So that was even better. So Carbon's like, oh, I love these people. I'm like, I got comic books if you want to look at them. They're just like, oh, Carbon.
Our dog's like you.
Yeah, no.
Sort of.
I guess I'll start bringing treats for them.
See, that's the way to get Evo to not want to tear you apart.
Yeah, Evo for a small dog like that has a very large personality.
Hey, I don't ever have to worry about anybody breaking into my house.
No, not with that puppy dog.
He definitely lets you know.
So are there any other shows you guys are going to be going to that you know of? Anything or?
Well, what? We're trying to see if we can get into Savannah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's Tony Privet that's running that.
Yeah, that's
You got
May.
Dave and Michelle that are set up there, and Daryl's set up there, I'll be set up there. If
Well-
John Neville can get free.
Well, we've been there in the past. We're just seeing if we can get there again. Now that my schedule is open on the weekends again,
Right.
it opens up the world again to what we can do. We can get back to what we were doing before. But that's the first weekend of May, correct?
I believe so. No, July. It's in July.
Is it in July? I thought it was in May.
No, I think it's in July because I don't have
What's the first weekend of May then?
first weekend of May. There's the land postcard show and paper show, and
Well,
then
they
at
got
the end of May is Sun Coast. Carrie show.
We still gotta try to get into that one.
Let me go to the OCD list.
We don't have.
The Martin show in October, PalmCon. Been 10 years.
We're going there.
Yeah, 10-year anniversary. That was one. When I went down there and did that show, I had a good time. Then it got big and went over to the convention center.
I only see
I think Savannah's in July. I think that's what I remember.
the land paper and
Yeah.
paper postcard.
Nope. Savannah Comic Con is May 1st.
Oh, you're right.
And we might not be able, because that's a Saturday. And what's the first Saturday if they hold it this year?
Are you sure that's right, though?
Hold on.
Savannah Comic Con, not MegaCon. Savannah
Oh, the
Comic.
Savannah Comic Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm doing the Savannah Mega Comic Con, which is in July.
Yeah. This is Savannah Comic Con. It's the other one that they have there.
Yeah.
Is that still going on?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. That was just updated.
Yeah, they get too confusing using the same names. That's why you got to change stuff around.
Oh yeah, no. That's why, because I had to do the same thing with her and tell her.
Because I was like, what?
I kept saying it's May.
They even have Rufio getting there.
Yeah. Is that MegaCon or no?
Savannah Comic Con.
Savannah
So
Comic Con.
John Martin
Oh,
will be at the Savannah
I
show.
love Savannah. Which one? Mega or comic?
The one I'm going to, John, it's in July. Just set the date.
If you
Yeah,
go to
no.
Savannah, look up John Martin. He'll be there. But like I said, because of the confusion, you got to make sure which one it
Savannah
is.
Comic Con or Savannah Mega?
Con, yeah. Because Trish was saying the same thing. No, it's not. It's in June. No, I know. I just saw it pop
See,
up on my
I'm
thing.
having flashbacks to 2017 when somebody came into Daytona and tried that. It became confusing. So my lawyer got involved.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Which you really should look into, even though it's not going to get confusing, but the trademark.
Yeah.
John says he likes the city. He doesn't like the con. He likes the city. And Roland says no, he was wrong. Ignore his last comment. Well, Roland, most of the time I do ignore your comments. Speaking of which, why I got you right here, Roland, because I have not received an answer back from you, and I don't know if you gave it to Trish. Who is on the spotlight next week with you?
He doesn't know.
You better. It's a week away. So I'm gonna bug you because you know he says ouch.
Ouch.
Because I start setting up for the next week's show tomorrow. Well, actually, I won't tomorrow because when Trish comes home, we heading up to Ocala.
Yeah.
We high lifing it in Ocala.
Ocala. Yeah.
If that's possible.
We know people. We know people.
We know people, yeah. We know popular people in Ocala.
We know Scott, Amber, and Boris.
There you go.
Yeah.
We know Kelly.
Kelly, yeah. Austin. Michael.
Kirk. Oh yeah, Kirk.
Dave and Cliff will be up there staying at the Holiday Inn over by 75. So you'll know some big time people there.
Holiday Inn. I don't think we get Holiday Inn. I think we're like went to him. We ain't that high life.
We're a little down here. Well, at Ocala, you got up here, you got in the middle, and then you got the really. You booked a room here. I'll sleep in the car.
Hey, that's the same hotel we stay in every time we go there.
What?
The one that we're at this week.
Oh, okay. Not the one that we walk out every time we forget that we rented there.
This is the one. Remember when we were there for Halloween and we stayed? Has that little room with the couch in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was one we went to. We walked in and we walked right back out.
There's a couple places we went and looked at. Well, I went and looked at, and they told me, he said, yeah, we just remodeled. And I'm like looking down, and the carpet's peeling up, and I see a bug crawling. I'm like, okay, just remodeled. And I said, yeah, the convention center, the conference room's back there. I said, okay. So I walked back there. They told me the guy was going to be in there. I beat on the door. There's no answer. And I'm like looking around, and there's like all these little mud wasp things,
Inside?
No, on the outside the building, but all around the entrance where you're going in. So the guy's not answering, and I look in, and you see these wooden tables that are like, they're not looking good at all. So I'm like, yes. I go back and I tell the lady, I said, he's not there. Well, he's supposed to be back there. I said, can you call him? No, I don't have his number. Well, okay. So I get in the van, I drive around the back to look. Well, the back door, you can tell somebody kicked it in at one time. And there's a hole where the knob used to be, and you can see a piece of wood going across the back of it. So that means they've got a 2x. I went, yeah, this place is out. Out of here. But that's the thing when you go out and you call people and you find out about venues until you go there and look.
Yeah.
And it's gated communities are great, okay, but now everybody has to stop at the gated community to get in. If you're doing something out of a golf course or something, you know what I mean? And it's like the one place was really nice. I went to look at it. I took my dad to one time and said, hey, come on, we're gonna go out and I'm gonna give out flyers and stuff, but you get a free lunch out of the deal for riding with me. He's like, okay, so he's tickled to death. So we're driving around. He goes, "Where the hell you got me at, boy?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I've never seen this part of Ocala." And that's why we're going to this golf course up there. So we go in, we get there, and I talked to a lady, really nice lady. And to load in, you had to. It's a half semicircle, and there's no like handicap ramp. You got to go all the way up to the main building to come in for the handicap. So if you're trying to push something, you can't go up.
Oh,
so you got to go unload, and you got like 60 feet to get to the room. But you can't drive around back. You can't get in the other way. But it's a beautiful room.
Right.
And it looks out on the golf course. They go, well, we had a gun show here. I said, did they ever come back? And they go, no. I can see why, because the load-in is difficult.
Right.
It's a beautiful room. And when you look at the pictures, you're like, yeah, I'd love to have an event there. There's two beautiful bathrooms. I mean, you walked in, it was like, nice tile. It wasn't like tile was all crooked. You know what I mean? It was nice. It was a beautiful, but again, you couldn't load in. And then they told me at the gun show, they had a problem with parking. And I'm sitting there looking, going, if I park 3 people that bring trailers, and then we park all the rest of the vendors, and then we get 50 customers, they've got the driving range, the golf course, and a restaurant. There's nowhere to park.
Right.
And they were wondering why the gun show never came back. And it's because there's no parking and there's no easy load in.
That was our biggest thing, is finding a venue that had the parking.
Yeah.
And then
And
we went to our venue. We're like, yes.
But that's the thing. You want free parking. You want easy load in. And unfortunately, that venue's old. So there's always that little bump when you're loading in and out. But it's simple and easy, like you said.
Yep.
And And it's central too. It's easy to get to from the highways. Everybody kind of knows where it's at. So anyway,
Roland said he told Trish he knew next month, but not next week. You know what, Roland? Why don't we just do me and you for next week then? We can still have a good show with just me and him.
Yeah.
And we can still talk about Silverline and your experiences with the conventions this year so far. I think that'll be a good show. Dave said, "Yo, Friday Night Live."
yeah, you guys are gonna be in town. Hit them up. You get old Cliff out there with you. He'll be all right.
And Sean says, "Free parking is a must and a reasonable admission price," and that's what we have. I mean,
Well, that's
we're never going to change our prices. It's always going to be one. Well, it might change like years down the line, to go up.
You try to.
But we're not going to change the price multiple times throughout the day.
Well, the land has always been the same for the dealers. Always the same to get in. 7-10 years, something like that. We haven't changed anything.
Yeah.
Jim added a certain thing. It works. So.
One of our things is over the years that we've been doing this, we've watched.
Because we've been doing it forever.
Well, I am old. We've watched the conventions and
Right.
we've watched what's worked. We've watched what hasn't worked. We've watched what made people happy and what pissed people off. And we kind of like.
And we're still learning as we're still going.
Yeah, we're still learning, but one of the things that we want to cover the venue, and then we want everybody to spend money on you guys, because that's our whole point. That's the whole reason we started doing what we're doing, is to support the vendors,
the artists, the vendors, the people who make up the convention.
At Olo, you had enough money that it covered the venue, it covered your advertising, it covered your new signs.
We're not in it to make money.
Right.
We're in it to.
Now anything that you make over the top, you turn around and you put it back into the show.
Right.
And and gradually as you build, you'll get to change things. It's like I said, Louis, when he sets up his show, you get the carpet, you get the drapes, you get all that stuff. That stuff costs money.
You got
that
tape
costs
with us.
time.
Tape.
And I did I did write your name on the table.
And which makes it simple and easy, because if you're busy or they can't find you, they can walk the room and they can find your name and they know where they're at.
And that happened a few times, because I was trying, since we had 2 entrances, I was trying to keep my eye on both of them.
Oh no, it's very hard. Yeah.
And well, because my health wasn't helping, but they let somebody walk in, standing there, looking at him, and let him walk in. I'm like, did you guys see somebody walk in? Oh, he wasn't a vendor. No, he's not a vendor. He was there about the gun show. It's like, we're not having a gun show.
No, that was next week that they had the gun show, I think. The week after.
So I have no guns, but these guns.
But no, but I had a couple of them. Oh, hey, I'm sorry I didn't get to see you when you get. Oh, no worries. We found our table. We saw the floor plan, and our name's right here. It's like, okay, there you go.
If you put a floor plan up on your website, put your vendors list and the name and number of where they're at, most of them are going to look at it. You shoot them an email and remind them, show is this day, this is setup time, stay in your space. If there's a gap, it's so you can get back there.
Stay in your lane.
Be nice with each other.
Yes.
Don't fight. Let's have a good time. That's it. That's all we want to do.
I don't think we had too many complaints.
Nope.
Vendor-wise.
There's just some stuff that you learn.
Yeah, but it's everybody has a different outlook on what they want from a show. And, figuring out what works for your show and for you guys is going to be different than what works for me or works for Louis or works for somebody else. But down the road, there's going to be a place where you're down the middle and you got to figure it out. But every show, there's going to be something.
Yeah.
There's always something.
Well, I was at one point, because you know how you start getting all kinds of advice on how to make your show better and all that. It's like, I'll listen to Tom, I'll listen to Louis, I'll listen to so-and-so, because they all have shows. Y'all don't have a show. Don't give me
Yeah, but at the same time, I listen to everybody.
Well, no, I was
Right.
listening,
But
but oh, you need to have this guest, and I know this person. I need to bring this, and it's like
that's when they want to spend your money.
Yeah.
And right now, you want to build your show. To build your show, you don't need that guest just a second. And there's a lot of people that want to bring certain guests that, yeah, they may be big draws for you, but at the same time, how much money are they going to bring in the door, or how much people are they going to bring in the door that's going to spend money with everybody else? Because just because, like, Stanley was at a show, oh my God, and they stood in line for 3 hours, paid $100 to get a signature, another $100 to get a quick photo. I met Stanley. You didn't meet Stanley. You stood in line.
That's all you did all day.
And then they come back and they say to me, well, it was $40 to get in. It was $10 to park. I got a $5 pretzel. I got a $7 soda.
Spent $200 on Stanley.
Whatever. Yeah, which for some people, meeting celebrities is very important, and I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, they're not bringing me any money.
Mm-hmm.
As a vendor, when you're set up, especially at MegaCon, and double booth, grandfathered in for a lower rate for the last 2 years, that was $2,000 some $100. Anybody going in there now is going to pay like $2,500 or something for a corner, or I'm sorry, $1,250.
Right.
The double is going to cost them like $2,500, and it's like, you're spending all this money. That's a lot of comics and a lot of toys you got to give away just to get even.
Mm-hmm.
If you're out of state, you got gas, hotel, food. It's nobody realizes how much that stuff adds up.
Mm-hmm.
It's
people don't. A lot of people don't understand all that. They just think, oh, look, I can tip you, for a little bit. No, because I looked at that stuff. I didn't want any big name guests. Louis even offered, hey, I can get you who. No, we want to concentrate this year on the vendors and the artists, everybody we have here. You knew I had one artist that I thought was still in Ormond Beach that I wanted, but it was no biggie. He's not in Ormond Beach anymore. I got him on my show anyway.
Yeah, well, no, you had him on your show. It was interesting to listen to everything that he talked about with you. And again, it's finding something that works for you and building your show. And as you build your show, then you can turn around and spend the money to bring somebody in, because they're not cheap. Some of them. If by the time you fly, most of them, if they agree to a flight, a hotel, some food, a little bit of an allowance to go pay for whatever. But there's other ones that are like, hey, I'm $5,000 if you want me. I got to fly in this way. And that's why I don't like dealing with a lot of people's reps. Because the rep wants to come and this and that, and you need to do
and they
this.
want tickets to Disney because you're in Florida.
And that's when it becomes out of hand. Mm-hmm. Because when they sit there and go, well, I don't care if you have a family member that works there. It's still a pain in the butt to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
And just to say I had so-and-so at my show isn't enough for me.
No,
if so-and-so is going to come in, and the one artist went to Tampa Bay, and he gets a big major setup, and he did the poster. If you took the poster up there, he wanted $50 to $60 to sign it. I'm sorry. My friend wanted a poster, and I figured I'd be nice and get a sign. You're not even going to sign for free. You want $50 or $60. I'm not going to give you that kind of money. It's not like I'm getting a cert. I even wanted it signed to his name because he couldn't make it. But it's the thing. Everybody wants to make a buck. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's afraid that you're going to get something and you're going to turn around and sell it and make more money than they could have made. I just want to make a show where it's simple, easy, like you guys are doing. Pays for everything. You're done. Move on for next year. Everybody had a good time. And the thing is, you can't please 100% of them. But if you please 90% of them vendors and them artists and guests that you had were happy, and your attendees were happy, and they're like, I want to come back next year. I had a great time. Then you're ahead of the game.
Well, I was happy when some of the people come up. So when's the next show?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, we had to get through the first one first.
Yeah,
but that's the good thing. When you get that kind of feedback, then you're looking at it and going, okay, down the road, this is what I can do, and you could build it as you go.
And I don't want to rush it,
right.
and I don't want to. We don't want to be the biggest show in Orlando tomorrow. That's not our intentions.
If you turn around and you get the venue and it's way too big for what you need, and you don't get the people in there, everybody's going to be unhappy.
Exactly.
But if you do it again the same size and you get the same attendance or a little bit better, then it's time to think about, hey, what can I do to expand? And go from there.
Because we know this year, like with Olo, one of the first shows of the year, everybody is getting off of the COVID. We're coming off of the COVID year. So was it a fluke of what happened, or did we do good promoting? And I think it's a mixture of both.
Right now, most of the shows are doing well because a lot of it has to do with people that were shut up with COVID. Other people are starting to feel more comfortable. And you can see it in some of the shows I've been at where people aren't wearing masks because I've been inoculated, I've had my shots, or I don't believe in this. And, which, fine, that's your choice. Right. Whatever you want to do. Again, if you're coming to Brick City on Saturday, you're going to wear a mask. It's why we're there. We're running the event. We want people to have a mask on. If it's a problem, just like at the land, over 900 people, I had to tell 9 people to turn around and put your damn mask back on.
I had to tell one. We were down on Olo. We were down there checking to see how one of the guests was doing, and some guy had come up, and I went to get out of his way, and the mask was down. And I told him, you need to put your mask up. And it looked like he wanted to say something, and he looked up at me. Okay.
But
and I was nice about it. I'm just like, he's like, what's that? I'm like, mask has to be on.
It's your kingdom. They're paying to come into your kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
It may sound like, oh, how dare he say it's his king, but you're the one running the show. You're the one responsible for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want the venue to give us a reason not to be able to come back.
You also the insurance, if they require
the
it
insurance,
or whatever.
We don't want the insurance, just.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and it pretty much, like the guy I had to tell, standing right there next to the sign, the COVID sign, that we put,
Again,
we put out.
They come behind our booth. I'm like, hey, if you need some help, let me know. And you look and you're watching them, and there's a sign right there in front of their face that says, if you need it to look at any books or something, please ask for assistance with wall books.
Yeah.
They all reach over there to.
I got yelled at.
I got yelled at. Just saying. You have glasses on. You should be able to see the signs.
I know, but at other shows, I get told just come back here and look. It's like, okay.
Yeah, looking is fine, but it's like at a car show. First car show I went with a friend of mine. And this was when I lived up in Massachusetts in the 80s. We were out looking at a car show. And I looked over and said, what the hell are you doing? He goes, I want to touch the material inside. It feels so good. And the guy walked over and started yelling at him. I'm standing here with my hands in my pockets because I wanted to touch it too. But, I mean, this is somebody's car that they've spent hours upon hours.
Oh, yeah.
And they, between the material inside and, they certain things that they bought and put in there, it's like, that's their baby. That's like walking back and picking up an Action Comics 1. You don't think that guy would go crazy if you pick that up?
Oh, yeah.
Who cares if you pick up a Daredevil 1? Don't pick up that Action Comics 1.
I don't touch anything because I remember those days when you were a kid and you went to touch something, your mom smacked you in the back of the head before you touched it. I still to this day duck.
The first time I ever touched one, and I got yelled at. So.
Well, that's the one year we were at MegaCon. And Trina was helping with me and Jake, and David T. Alexander came over to grab a book. Well, he reached over. Trina laid into him, and me and Jake were like, no, he spent lots of money. But at the same time, I was like, way to go, baby. Because he was doing, and there were signs, because we did that. We had signs up.
Yeah.
Because the racks were behind the tables. And there were signs up that said, if you need help, please ask. He didn't, so he came back the next day. She wasn't in that day. He's looking around and goes, go ahead, it's okay. She's not here. He goes, well, I ain't touching it.
I can't even imagine touching a book worth $1,000.
I only touched the one that was worth like $100, and I got yelled at. So,
see, the scary thing is that if you knocked a rack over,
Oh my God.
and then all the books come down. A lot of times,
Didn't I
like,
just sue you like certain other people? And
yeah, well,
Because we ended up in the hospital.
yeah,
you need to go to the hospital, take a photo, and say, "Hey, look, this rack fell on me," even though I'm the idiot that knocked everything over.
no, and I do apologize. Did you know I've never gone back into? You were talking with somebody and saying, and John must have been a bathroom break.
Yeah, well, John should have been there to control you.
Sheesh,
like-
John.
And I went back. I was just looking, but I wanted to see the full cover. And it's like, oh.
Well, we, you know,
And guess
that's
what?
the thing. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I won't do it again. I learned.
My friend Jimmy Smith, every time he comes behind the rack, he's got big feet. He's busy looking. The next thing I know, he hits the rack, and we're grabbing the rack because the thing's wobbling. You know, now you're worried. So after a while, I was like, he started walking back, and I'm like, no, you're not allowed back here anymore.
Roland said he got to hold the first Superman, first Batman when he went to DC Comics Archives. It was very, very cool.
Nice.
Well, I know Trish has freaked out holding a couple of comics. I can't. He's gonna kill me because I can't remember the guy that's always at Daytona and has the books covered in plastic wrap.
Jay.
Jay, yeah,
Okay.
Jay.
Yeah, Jay's multimedia. He's up
Yeah.
in Jacksonville. Yep.
Yeah, he let us both hold. He insisted we hold.
Well, that
comics,
that
and-
picture that you had at the beginning with me and Tony, and we're with Michael Carbonero. Used to be oh God, I forget the name of it. Tomorrow's Treasure. Now he's Adams and David Adams or something with a new partner. But he's the one that came over and he's like, you guys want to hold this? And I'm like, I've seen a few of these. Because David T. Alexander got the one that was in the house that they were fighting over and they ripped because they found it in the wall. Because back in the day, you would take paper and put it in the wall as
Right.
insulation. And this book, for some reason, didn't brown and brittle like a lot of paper does. But they fought over it and they were drunk and they were fighting over it and ripped the book. But they brought it all the way down to him so he could put it into auction for him and get it graded. So I got to see it there. I've like probably about 6 Action Comics I've been able to hold. I've never owned one, but it's just cool, you know. So when Carbonero came over, Tony was like, "Oh, I'm all excited." I'm like, "Oh, okay, big deal." I've held all these other ones, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it was just cool that he came over with his graded book, and you know, let us get our picture with it and everything, and you know, and that's, you know, you walk over to his booth and like, here's his book, and there's like all this money because they were buying. So they had their glass display case with all this money thrown in there, and you know, you came over to them, they'd buy. And that's what I found as I went throughout the business, is that the more money you have, the better the books are you can buy. And so when I go in like Metropolis and you look up on their wall and they've got like 5 or 6 Batman 1s, a couple Detective 27s, now 1 or 2 Action Comics. They're the ones that sold the Action Comics one for over 3 million.
3.5 million.
Yeah. 8.5, yeah. But they're the ones that sold our art for us. So
I'm still waiting for that find. That one
That
find.
diamond in the rough.
Yeah. I don't even care if it's only a $500 book that we picked up for a quarter. I'm okay with that.
just as long as it's like,
Just as long as it's like, yes.
that's why Dave
You
and
know?
John dig all the time. They dig all the time. They pull up books and they're like, hey, it's like $20 or $30 on eBay. And I'm like, it's like $2 in my box. They're like, no, it's 20 or 30 now. Because they stay on top of what
Yeah.
is the hot book now. So Roland says 50 to 60 for a signature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Roland, this guy's been around since the 60s, did a lot of work, but he wanted big money for a signature. I think he still charged him like $50.
I did forget, we do have that one diamond in the rough, your card, because that sucker's worth.
A sports car?
No,
No,
the Pokemon, the one
Pokemon,
that I got
Charizard
graded.
one?
And the reason I'm getting it graded, because like you said with the comics, with that grade on it, it makes the price go from $750 to like $3,500.
Yeah, less argument that way.
Because it's going on to 10:30.
Yeah.
It's that late already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw you had some flyers.
Yeah, so Our buddy Greg has his Lake Collecticon. That is in June.
And that's at the Leesburg Square Mall?
Yes, yep. Which one time was called something else, and now they're back to Leesburg Square Mall. This weekend in Brick City, Alpha Omega. So if you want to get your stuff graded, they will be at Brick City. Yep, get your grade on. Martin Piero in PopCon. That is October 2nd. So nice little show. It's 10-year anniversary.
Yep.
So I will be set up there. It's a cool little show. It's worth going down there and checking out.
We'll be there.
That'll be great.
Yep.
I'll be glad to see you down there. We'll go out, but we're not going to Miller's. We'll go somewhere else. Buffalo Wild Wings.
No.
Suncoast Comic Con at the end of May. Kerry's putting that on, so he's got some guests coming in. He's got Alex Savic's coming, Ebas, Eric Basuma, and a couple other big name things. You'll also find Alpha Omega at the show. They will be there. They're helping sponsor and bring in some of the guests. So that's another one.
Alpha Omega's everywhere, so just know that.
Right now they're staying pretty busy. April 30th to May 1st in the Land is the postcard paper show. If you're into postcards and stuff, this is a pretty cool show. There's some older paper products, some older men's magazines, and different things. So this would be a pretty cool show to check out. Florida Toy Shows, the next big show they got going is in Orlando, Toylando, June 6th. They also have some.
They have the Funko PopCon.
Okay.
April 25th.
So after that.
So that.
Yeah, that's the one that they're doing at
Acme.
Acme.
And then they'll be
Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville.
May 16th.
Now I was told that there's going to be a show in Jacksonville.
There is. Tony Hines and I, if he allows me to help him. August 8th. We try to get in August 7th on a Saturday, but the date is booked. So August 8th is the Jacksonville Comic and Toy Show, and we'll be back at the Ramada. Last year was canceled due to COVID. So this year we'll be back there doing both sides of the Ramada, the 2 rooms with the hallway down the middle. And any vendors that are interested, I think Tony said wait until the end of April, but we're going to hit the other ones up that already had applied, and then we have to refund everybody money for. So that's going on. And then tomorrow, not tomorrow, but 2 days from now, Saturday, April 17th is Brick City Comic and Toy Show, and it runs from 10 to 4, and the admission is $5. A lot of free parking, a lot of cool vendors to meet. Comics, toys, pops, some original art. I think there's a little bit of anime stuff in there. And then we have some guests to meet, some artists, creators, writers, and
all around cool people.
Yeah, all around cool people. And of course, our favorite food truck, the Feeling Good food truck. So hopefully we'll see everybody on Saturday. And
we'll be wandering around there somewhere.
Yeah, cool.
We'll be there somewhere. Yeah. John says the best dollar book he bought, he sold for $26.50. Bloodshot Zero Platinum.
Yeah, it's a tough book.
And then Jennifer Lauder says, thanks for everything, guys. Didn't even know you were on tonight, Jennifer.
Jennifer is doing some pretty cool work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, she was at that show I was just at. She's put out some neat stuff.
She was at Olo.
Yeah, she was at Olo. You met her there.
What do I say? She is modern art with the classic touch.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, guys, and Dave Finley says, I'm out, guys. See you on Saturday. See you.
All right,
bye, Dave.
See you, Dave. We will be, of course, this weekend at Brick City. Come up and see us along with Tom. Tom will be smiling. He doesn't run around that one.
No. Trina will be working the front, and Tony's actually said he wants to walk around and chit chat with everybody and do his thing. So
okay, there you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him move up the ladder so I can fall back and relax at home.
There you go.
So then next week we will be back here with Roland with Silverline Spotlight. Be me and Roland talking. And then I'm actually excited. Not that I'm not excited for Roland next week. I'm excited for the last Thursday of the month, the 29th. I will have Alex Chabali on. He runs CEO, the second biggest gaming tournament competition in the U.S. He's going to be on here as our special guest. So I can't wait to that. That's one of the conventions.
Yeah.
I know you see that we've covered.
Yeah. Oh no.
We actually get out of the comic area.
Yeah, it does get a good crowd at that show. So.
Oh yeah.
No, really
So
cool.
we were able to Trish was able to get him. So very happy. I got to go dig out my Chabali shirt. Okay. So with that guy, anything else?
No, well, just everybody be cool. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Wear a mask when you can. Social distance. And I'm out.
See you guys.
See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.